I know, Robert. I know. Son of a gun. Welcome to the Dennis Herrera Show. Good evening and good night for some of you on the East Coast. Horrible. I said, before we start the show, let me take a sip of my coffee. And I get to see Robert telling me that I'm muted. I'm going to fire this sound guy. Sound guy, you're fired. I need somebody new. Get out of here. You're done. Out of here. This crew, this Dennis Herrera crew, I'm telling you, these guys suck. The editing is horrible. The advertising is horrible. The host is horrible. The editing, the videographer, the photographer, the director, and man, everybody here sucks. I got to do everything myself if I want to get it done right. Nah, it's good to be back. Good to be back. I was actually very tired. For some reason, I felt very tired. I didn't want to come live, but you know what? That's how it is. When you got to work, you got to work. You got to do what you got to do. But before we start, Burning47 says, Dennis, you have no idea how much I appreciate your... Aw, thank you so much. I appreciate you. You guys make it all worth it to me. You guys know that I get a lot of hate coming in here simply because we have common sense. All right, let me say hi to everybody before I give you my little announcement. I got 3, 4 things, maybe 5 things that I want to send you. If you guys are willing, you can donate or not. It doesn't matter. You don't have to. But I have some things here that I want to be able to send to you. If you have my email, then you already know what to do. Just send me the address. If you don't have my email, just let me know. Or you can text it at the phone number that I am going to post over here. Nomad, we would like to think that we have common sense. Marco Rubio, I have not watched. If there's a new one today, I haven't watched. Let me see. I don't see a live from Marco Rubio. At least I didn't get notified. Let me see. The one we watched President Trump. We watched Pete Hegseth. You know, I did see some clips from Rubio, but not the full video. If you guys have the link to it, let me know. All I have is like small clips of it. It looks like that's what they gave me. So let me see. Let me just go to the actual website here for the news outlets. And no, I don't see Rubio. Let me check CNN. Bum, 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 bum. Let's see. Nope, just the State of the Union speech. No, I don't have it. For some reason, I didn't get it. I didn't get the notification. And we'll get into that later. But first, I want to pay attention to you guys. All right, so I got some things. I know Robert already knows about this. Let me go ahead and say hello to everybody that just came in. Bubba, thank you for being here with us tonight. Happy Mac, the best Mac in the world. Brother Robert, you are the reason why we're back today. Thank you for supporting the Dennis Herrera Show. Cray Miss, don't forget to unmute. Son of a gun. I got to start reading comments before I start talking, it looks like. You guys are on point, man. Thank you for that. Mikey likes the hat. Could also stand for Department of Homeland Security. That is correct. I like that. I like that you actually understand what they stand for. I like that. I love it. You should see what people ask me, like, what the hell? What does DHS mean? Oh, the Dennis Herrera Show. Oh. I like to express myself with, some very, what do you call it? Oh, my gosh. You know what? I've been thinking in Spanish so much. I'm forgetting my words in English. I gotta get back to Honduras. I think that I might get deported if I can't speak English correctly. They're not gonna believe that I'm an American citizen if I keep forgetting how to say some words in English. Forget about that. I am expressing myself, and I, sometimes people get triggered for some reason. I like this hat. I'm gonna tell you something. I get these hats. We'll get to the point of what I'm trying to do. I get these hats. The hats are made at Bangladesh. I don't know if that's how you say it. Bangladesh, and they're good quality hats. This one says MWGA, Make Washington Great Again. That's Washington State. But I don't wear it as often because the lettering on there, it's too small. And I'm thinking about getting an embroidery machine, and I'm going to make my own stuff. And who knows, maybe as a sort of a business in the future, I will get a seller's permit from the Department of Revenue, and I'll be able to offer you guys some merch. Just for some of the people that are curious, they take my taxes off YouTube before I get paid for it. So if you were wondering about that, that's how that works. Let's see. I got notification from what? Give me a second. I got a couple of things to show you guys. Oh, I see. Baba, thank you for the $20 PayPal. I will say if you do a super chat, minimum $20 super chat, I will send this to you for free. The four little items that I have here, I don't think they weigh that much, so I shouldn't have to pay so much for shipping on them, okay? But if you PayPal, not a YouTube super chat, if you can PayPal $20, you don't have to pay for the shipping on these. I really don't know how much shipping is, and if it doesn't matter. If you guys don't do a donation, don't worry about it. I'll pay for it anyway, okay? I'm just saying, it will help me out if you do a $20 minimum donation. But if you don't, that's okay. I don't want you to feel obligated, please. I really mean that. I don't want you to feel obligated. But let me go ahead and finish say here, Cray. Jason, good evening. Let's see. Born Blue, are we at war now? I guess are we at war? I think these are precision strikes. We're just helping Iran. If they attack us, we will be at war for sure. Don't worry, I got a couple of things that we will talk over. Hey, Jeff, how are you? Good to see you in here. With the business says no. I don't know what that no is for. All right, here we go. 6 servicemen dead. I know, man. And we need to honor them. We want to make sure that their sacrifice is accounted for. I want to bring up some light over here because I want you see this right here behind me? Let me make it bigger so I can show you there. You probably won't be able to see much there, but let me see. Can you guys see that in the back? Can you see that thing right here? Left side. This right here. That is $50. That is every single dollar bill in Honduran coin. It is a decoration, obviously. So if you would like to own it, I want you to know it's made out of plywood material, the wood that they use, and it is just to hang, and it shows the 1, 2, the 5, 10, 20, 100, and 500, 200, and the 500 bill of Honduras. Thank you, Baba. I see you, man. Appreciate that. Okay, Baba doesn't have to pay for anything. He already gave a big 50 super chat on PayPal. I appreciate it, brother. So I'm going to give you a choice. Okay, I have 4 little things here, 4 magnets. Now, again, you guys don't have to donate anything, but if you can, Robert, I owe you because I promise you. So, all right. This is a magnet that says Honduras Roatan. Let me turn down the light here because the camera kind of catches the light. Okay. Let's see if that shows better for you guys. You see that? It's a small magnet. It's a little bit heavy, but it's a small magnet. It's got the national bird in there. The national flower is in there. Well, it's not the national flower. It's a tropical flower. And this is from the island of Roatan. Okay? This is from the island of Roatan. This is a bottle opener. It says Roatan on it. Okay? And then there's a Honduras flag with the name Roatan on it. These are all magnets. And if you fish or you have a boat, there's your anchor with the steering wheel right there. Okay? So, Robert, which one would you like out of all these? The blue one is my favorite color. So, do you want this? This is 1. We'll make it 2. Why do I feel like a sales guy here? 3. And 4. The first one, Robert, confirm. This is the one you want? Okay. That's for you, Robert. Gotcha. Baba, which one did you want? Roatan, it's gorgeous. It is beautiful. And it is the safest part in Honduras. If I was to tell you, go and visit Honduras, and you were afraid of going there, I would say Roatan is the best place for you to go. So, Baba, which one did you want, Baba? Okay, Baba wants to pass it forward. Okay, so let me see who else do we have here. I understand people don't want to give address. I believe Robert's it's a PO, right, Robert? Okay. Why does it feel like whenever I read Cray Miss, why does it feel like I'm angry when I read your comments? I don't know. It feels like every time I read Cray's messages, Cray Miss, every time I read your messages, why does it feel like I have to be angry? I don't understand. It seems like you're angry when I read the comments, and I know I'm reading it, but I'm not angry. But whenever you say something, it's just crazy. All right, Rush Babe, you are here in Washington State. Did you see the magnets that I have? I will send one to you. I already have your address. I think I still have it there. Did you see the magnets that I'm giving away? Rock fan, thank you, sir. Okay, so I'm not going to show you the one that Robert took because he already took it, but I have this bottle opener. These are magnets. I got the Roatan name with the Honduras flag. Let me put it closer, see if we can get... Let me turn the light down again. With the Honduras flag at the end. And then I have this anchor. This anchor, not anger. See, every time I look at Cray Miss, I don't know. I don't know, man. You're giving me some negative vibes for some reason. I don't know what it is, man. I just don't know what it is. Well, they are free. It's free shipping, but the tariff is $50. Oh, man. I want to show you the other one that I have here in the back. Hold on. Let's see if I can get it. So the back is plywood. And then they have the shiny cover on them. And this is the bills from Honduras. I think it's beautiful. I think it's gorgeous. And then, of course, it just folds down. Just like that. And then I can send it if somebody wants it. Now that one is $50. But that's including your shipping. I think I paid like $30 when I was in Honduras. And I just wanted it because of all the bills. As a matter of fact, Rush Babe, I still owe you a date. And I want to see if I can get down there with my wife so we can go have lunch. And maybe I will just bring it to you. Okay? So which one did you decide that you want? Oh, Berniel is in the house. All right, let me see. Which one does Rush want? Let's see. My daughter will steal it like my coffee cup. That's sold to the highest bidder. You want the bills? You want this ones, Bernie? You want the Honduras dollars? Well, lempiras. All right, so you want this one, right, Rush? The bottle opener? Yeah, if you Zelle it or PayPal it, then I can go tomorrow and send it to you, brother. So Rush, I will go ahead and mail you this. If I was to give you a bigger one, which I will, I have something special for you. I will go ahead and mail you guys your stuff tomorrow. Okay. So Rush Babe and Robert, I really like this one. And it has a little weight to it. It is actually metal, the whole thing. It's like aluminum, I think. This one is also a little bit heavy. Just FYI, the last two letters don't have the metal to open the bottle, so it really is more for decoration, but you can use it from here. All right. All right, I got two things left. Brian, you can only choose from this. These are magnets. Or this. Huh? You want one or two? Brandon Herrera gets voted in tomorrow. Who's Brandon Herrera? All right. You want the anchor? The anchor with the steering wheel? Gotcha. Cool. All right. So I got Robert, Rush Babe, and Brian. And Bernie, which one did you want, Bernie? Did you want this one free to you, or do you want the bills? If you want the bills, I'll send you the bills and I'll pay for it. No worries, brother. You helped me out a lot already as it is. Okay. I don't have anybody else. Omar's not here. All right. If we get who has, let's see, Cutting Edge. I think Cutting Edge or Mindspeak gave me the address already to send them stuff. So I got this one left over. If somebody wants it, I just need an address to send it to. All right, and if you guys are first time here watching this, you guys know that the people that I am talking to have given me their address before. All right, I'll send you the bills, Bernie. I have one thing for Rush, but I'll let her see it when I come over and visit her. All right. As you guys saw, I'm actually going to have people call in. And let's have a conversation tonight. Let me see. But you know what? Before we call, though, I do want to share my Facebook account. Let me put this down here a little bit. Let's see. Got to reset this baby because Cutting Edge was here earlier. He was the stream boss. The stream boss of the chat with a couple of super chats. So let me reset that. And then I'm going to go ahead and share my display with you. All right. So you guys already know the title of my video is Why is Your State So Good? Or why is your state so great? I think that's what I named it, right? Something like that. You guys can look at the title as you're coming in. But first, we're going to go ahead and watch a couple of videos. They're like short videos. Don't get too worried about it. I mean, my patriots, my American family here, you guys don't mind, and I love that I can watch videos with you and enjoy them to the fullest. Hey, Larry, how are you? Welcome to the chat. Looking Glass, Texas Senator Brandon. Really? Brandon Herrera? You got to be joking. His last name is Herrera, for real? You got to be kidding me. Let me see. People like to pull my leg. Let's see. Brandon Herrera. Congress. It says Congress. Please contact Europe State Republican Party candidates, U.S. Texas district elections. Let's see. Born, man, that guy was born in 95? He's only 30 years old. 31 years old. He's an American YouTuber. Wait a minute. I got to read this. I got to read this. Brandon Herrera, born November 20th, 1995, also known as the AK guy, is an American YouTuber, firearm manufacturer, and political candidate whose videos primarily focus on firearms. Herrera was a candidate in the race to represent Texas' 23rd Congressional District in 2024, but lost by approximately 1% point to incumbent Tony Gonzalez in the Republican primary runoff. He has announced his second candidacy for the Republican nomination in 2026. So did he win? That is crazy. But this is for Congress, not for governor. That's actually pretty cool. Pretty cool. We don't see many Herreras out there. Oh, you sold it? Oh, thanks, brother. Let me take a look. That is crazy. Yeah, we're still going to be running on this. You guys will see. And so, you know what I'm most glad about is that that he is a YouTuber. That's what I'm tripping about. All right. Thank you, Bernal. Appreciate it. You always keep your word, my friend. And I appreciate that. All right, brother. It's all yours. I will ship this tomorrow. So thank you for that. All right, guys. There's going to be a second YouTuber, and his name is also Dennis Herrera. I'm glad his name is Brandon and not Dennis. That way I don't have to change my name. Although I believe there is a Dennis Herrera attorney, I think, in San Francisco. I think that's his position. AG or just a lawyer. I'm not sure. I can't remember. But I do know that there's a Dennis Herrera down there in San Francisco. All right. Let's go ahead and listen. First of all, I want to go ahead and play this about my state. Okay? This is Washington State. Let's take a listen.
serious oversight and accountability gaps at the Washington Department of Children, Youth, and Families over the last 4 years when it comes to payments to child care providers. Good evening. I'm Preston Phillips.
And I'm Mary Num. The state auditor tells Couple News they've lacked access to provider-level data in the last 4 statewide audits, data that's needed to fully track where the money is going. This comes as concerns about child care funding make headlines in our state and the rest of the country. Chemist Michelle Esteban has been following the story. Michelle, a yearly audit is happening right now. Any findings yet?
Well, hi there, Mary. I can tell you questions, as you mentioned, about the daycare provider funding have been swirling for weeks, and that is why the auditor wanted to address it. The audit that's ongoing, she told me there is no evidence of fraud within DCYF regarding what's known as the Child Care Development Fund, but said the agency remains high risk and has oversight gaps last year alone to the tune of $400+ million. What sort of grade do they get over the years, and how do they stand out amongst other agencies?
They are probably the most risky of all of the departments in state government.
State Auditor Pat McCarthy says DCYF is one of the highest risk agencies in state government due to the size, scope, and vulnerable population it serves. She points to ongoing accountability concerns documented in past audits, including this one for fiscal year 2024.
$416 million in unauditable dollars spent by the Department of Children, Youth, and Families.
And here's what the audit reported. By not complying with federal law requirements to maintain adequate supporting documentation for expenditures, the department made it impossible for our office to audit the federal dollars it used for payments to child care providers. Because the department did not comply with HHS requirements to allow for the tracing on grant expenditures to a payment level, we are questioning all $415,579,473 in federal program cost it incurred during the audit period.
We will look at individual providers when we do those audits, but we have to get that information from the agency to be able to do that body of work, and we haven't been able to get that information for the last 4 years.
So what that says to me is then we don't really know, we don't have any information on whether or not that money is flowing properly, and is that correct?
Well, I think I believe the DCYF can speak to that.
The auditor says she's hopeful this audit will be different. And right now, auditors are getting required documentation, and she attributes it to recent leadership changes, calling it a new day.
With the new administration, and I'm talking about the new secretary at DSHS, Tana Sen, and the governor of the state of Washington, in his efforts on accountability for his state agencies, we're seeing a change. So this is a new day for DCYF. That's not to say that there may be issues in the final report, but we have not seen any evidence of fraud.
What do you think the families that rely on child care providers in our state need to know about ensuring that the dollars are going where they're supposed to?
So it's incumbent upon parents and families to be able to ensure that they are getting the services that they are paying for or they're getting subsidized for.
Now, just in the past 30 minutes, DCYF got back to me with a statement that reads in part, quote, while we have been consistently in compliance with federal requirements for this program, DCYF took feedback from prior audits to change how we track payments to comply with the state auditor's recommendations. We've been working closely with that office for the past year, and we changed our process in fiscal year 25, which is the audit they are working on right now, end quote. The audit should wrap up soon in March. We'll be watching for those findings for you. And if you want to read the past audits, they are all available at the state auditor's website. In fact, we've also put a hot link on our website, comonews.com, where you can read them for yourselves. Guys?
Michelle, a lot of questions, but the big one is, how does something like this happen for 4 years?
It's a really good question, and I asked that of the auditor, and she said that she's been actually waving a red flag for the past 4 years and making recommendations. She thinks some of this has to do with this agency being relatively new. You may remember it was part of DSHS, and they split up in 2017. She said that COVID also moved in here, so they're trying to get their feet underneath them, if you will.
So whatever excuse they're making for not having, knowing anything about where this money went, It is the same story through every blue state and city. And I don't understand why people would just think or say that we are just being hateful, we're being racist, even though our people, our Americans, our group, everybody that we have in here, we have mixed. We got black people, we got different Native American tribes. You got a migrant as American citizen. We have Hispanics, Latinos for Trump. We got blacks for Trump. We got Asians for Trump. I mean, we got Native Americans for Trump. I mean, everything you can think of, we have in our group, and they still want to call us racist. We don't care about that. We don't really care about politics when it comes to trying to hold somebody accountable for utilizing our tax dollars. I think that as taxpayers, we deserve at least that much accountability. We pay taxes because we feel that, we're being good citizens and this and that. But, other countries and especially countries that don't like us, people that don't like us, people like the Democrats in office right now, people like Ilhan Omar, Tlaib Rashid, AOC, Bernie Sanders, all these supposed people that are for America, they don't care about American citizens. They really believe that this country belongs to migrants. If you don't believe me, listen to Zoran Mondani. He said it. This is a country of immigrants for immigrants, supported by immigrants, and now led by an immigrant. They don't believe in American citizenship. They don't care. They've been breaking the Constitution left and right, and then they blame President Trump when he uses it. They've been cheating on elections, and we're finding out little by little, but we're finding out proof. There was, what was it? There was the post office. The post office cannot be sued. Check this out. The post office cannot be sued from, ballots not making it in. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I can understand regular mail, but voting ballots, you got to be responsible for that. The post office is a federal government, federal employees. They need to be held responsible if those ballots don't make it. I mean, it was crazy. I don't believe it. I still don't believe it. I still don't. But they said that in this last election here in Washington State, I think it was it Washington? I might be confusing the state. But in the last election, they actually called the post office and say, excuse me, do you happen to have any ballots, voting ballots? And they said, yes, they are being piled up over here in this location. And they said, okay, can you deliver those? And they said, no. Plain and simple. Very, very simple. They didn't care. So they actually had to have the representative drive to the post office, grab all those ballots, and bring them in to the area where they count the ballots. And I'm just like, wait, how does the post office get to have a way to block voters from getting their votes counted? It is ridiculous. I'm telling you, if you have to vote by mail, Trump said, if you really can't, you can still vote by mail. I believe that's what I heard him say. But I'm telling you, for me, I got to make sure my vote gets counted. This little audit that they're doing, and the lying government for Bob Ferguson, they say that, they're being held accountable and all this stuff, bull crap. They have been fighting DOJ all the way through. We're trying to get the voter rolls also released. They're trying to fight that through. What I don't understand is people that tell me, you don't know how to read the Constitution and you don't know how to do this. You know what? I read that the United States of America's Constitution overwrites the state constitution. And the state constitution here of Washington State is the Attorney General, the idiot that we have in that position. You would think that he's smarter than me and anybody else, being a lawyer and such. He says that the federal government does not have the right and they can't. Well, what he fails to tell you is that if he tells them that it's okay to get these voter rolls, the federal government is more than, than able to do it. The Washington State Constitution says that, yes, we are to protect the privacy of the Washingtonian citizens and all that good stuff. Yes. But it also has a line in the same order what it says that all they need is permission from the local government. And with that being done, there is no problem. But they try to make a big deal out of it, and it's just to cover their tracks. Bob Ferguson trying to get this. I don't know. Did it pass, Rush? I haven't even looked. I'm really not caring, to be honest. I really don't want to look. I really don't want to look to see if it passed already. I thought it was going to pass, but anyway, they're trying to pass this income tax, right? And the way that he brought it up, I'm talking about the governor here in Washington State, Bob Ferguson. The way that he brought it up was, the $9.5 billion, has been spent already and this and that. And we are trying to raise these taxes. And like he played it off very good. And then he says, but we need $2.5 billion more in taxes. And the way they're going to get it is by doing the millionaire income state tax. And, he says, but this time we will track the money, make sure that we know exactly where every dollar is being spent. And I'm like, that's very nice. But let's go back to the $9.5 billion that you already wasted. I want you to tell me that you know where that money went. And here we are, watching some news that $416 million unaccounted for. That's not the only one. We've seen hundreds of millions of dollars here, there, over there, everywhere. And they have no accountability for it. We can't trace it. We can't track it. That's what they say. They don't give us the information that we're asking for. And I'll tell you, there's a lot of people out there that they are professionals on what they do. And I'm going to tell you, we got a lot of work to do. They are not going to like me. I mean, the libtards on my chat don't like me just saying that I'm going to run for governor of Washington State. They already don't like it. They already call me names. They already tell me I'm stupid. They already told me this and that. And you know what? Maybe that is a projection of what their parents told them when they said they wanted to be somebody in life. When I told my mother that I wanted to be a doctor when I was a kid, you know what she said? That's very good, son. Go to school. And then if you really want to be a doctor when you get older, then you go to college and you put in the work. My mother didn't say, are you crazy, boy? You can't be a doctor. You're stupid. Yeah, that's the difference between the libtards and us. We believe that anybody can do what they put their minds into. You want to be a doctor? Put in the work. Go to school, etc. If you want to be a nurse, okay, put in the work. You want to be a surgeon? Okay. You want to be a lawyer? We need all those positions. But I hope that you're looking into these positions because your heart is in it. And it's not just searching for a dollar to collect. You know what I'm saying? Go make daddy a sandwich. Go make daddy a sandwich and shut up. Shut the hell up, as they say. In the Dennis Herrera show. That'll be me. All right. So that's Washington State. You guys already know how I feel about my state. Don't worry. I'll give you a chance to call in. But that's my state. Okay. We have to deal with fraud. We have to deal with high taxes everywhere. The next couple of them are actually from California. Let's take a listen.
So what we have here is a resolution blaming President Trump for not rebuilding during the fires. Well, that's what everyone here is saying. This is classic shift the blame by politicians who haven't done their job. And I want to make sure that everyone in California knows, whether you're a Democrat or Republican or somewhere in between, this is not about helping these people. This is about using their tragedy to try to escape blame because you didn't do your job. I'll give you some data bombs. 28 homes as of yesterday at 5 p.m. have been rebuilt out of nearly 15,000 homes lost. Who's in charge of LA County? Who's in charge of the Palisades, Altadena? You are. Not a word in this chamber to your colleagues down south. Pick up the pace. Get the job done. People lost everything. Expedite these permits. 28 out of 15,000 homes. And I'm not seeing a whole lot of hope for them. So far, the federal government has transferred $6 billion to respond to fire recovery. Gavin Newsom put in an invoice for $40 billion. You know why? Because he's spending money like a drunken sailor, and so are you. And you want to use the tragedy.
Please don't use such language on the floor. Thank you.
Please don't.
A drunken sailor? I'm sorry to insult drunken sailors by putting them in the same vein as our governor and his behavior. But you're using their tragedy to ask for money because you can't control your spending habits. You know, when you look at the $40 billion line by line, 80% of that money doesn't go to fire victims, it goes to government. You want to bail out for local government, and the government's not even doing its job. You know what? I'd be willing to give some money to those local governments if they actually got homes rebuilt, if they delivered on their job to these people who are the real fire victims. But no. You're trying to divert attention from that failure. How about the $100 million in charity money run by very politically connected consultants to your side? And where's the money? I have yet to find people who have said, yes, I received a bit of the $100 million, but politicians fell all over themselves to say, donate to these charities. I think we need a federal investigation, an audit. Where is the hue and cry on all that charitable money that many of you supported those charity solicitations? Did you bother to ask where the money went? Did it actually go to fire victims? And finally, if we are going to have any sort of federal bailout of politicians in California, all they're asking in Washington is that we clean up our act. Not just to rebuild these homes, to pick up the pace, but why don't we deal with the reduction of fire risk before we have more Palisades and Altadenas, more fire victims? Because you're not letting people clear brush. You're not giving fire districts the ability to do controlled burns. California Air Resources Board doesn't allow them to do controlled burns because they say it will emit CO2. Well, what do you think a massive wildfire does to our CO2 inventory? These are all the issues that we could make.
Seriously? I can't understand what the left is thinking. I really don't. I just don't understand. Everything he's saying are facts. And this is not from Fox News. This is not Fox News. And he's talking to Americans, not just the Democrats or Republicans. He's talking to everybody. The logic. Where's the logic in that? See, oh my gosh, listen. You want to mandate electrical cars? Great. It sounds like a great idea. Those batteries are horrible for the environment. I've seen these cars catch on fire. And as responsible as people are, I got him fired. I fire him. The other guy that I hired, I already got to fire him as well. You know, and then there's like, you know, God forbid somebody left their child thinking, oh, it's just a minute or two while I go into the convenience store and grab some Twix. Or they left their dog in there. All of a sudden, this battery incinerates the car and it's gone. The logic of the left, I just don't understand. They're over-regulating, for Pete's sakes, on democratic states and cities is ridiculous. This whole climate, global warming, they say. You know what's crazy? That the Marshall Islands, I think it is, their sea levels are rising. So when there's like a windy season or a storm, you know, they get flooded. And what's crazy is, Adam, que pasa, güey? I know Adam just went to Roatan. He was over there in Honduras, freaking out in San Pedro Sula. Somebody was going to rob him. But Adam, he was down in the Honduras Bay Islands. Unfortunately, not a good time to go. But the water is kind of receding from the beach. Like the beach is getting longer. And this is in Otila where they comment this, that they have gained a few feet of beachfront. Well, there's coral reefs, but still beachfront. And global warming. You know, in the desert, in Yakima, a lot of water used to flow through there. The deserts, there is signs that an ocean was there. We've gone over 3 ice ages. Probably more. I don't know. I think it's 3 is what I know. But probably more that we can tell. We are not God. We cannot stop climate change. We just can't. It is what it is. If humans don't throw out there some CO, volcanoes do. Volcanoes do. Fires in the forest. They do that naturally. You don't see them as often because supposedly we control them, but then here we are. Democrats are stopping from setting up controlled fires. The logic of their thinking is just lacking a lot. A lot. All right. All right, let me go ahead and skip so I can get to the next clip because this is important. And this is what you got to do sometimes.
Thank you. This is truly an amazing day for California democracy. Because in a time when people have given up hope that their government is going to be responsive to them, and that even participating in voting matters, this initiative is the turning point. This initiative is where the people rise up and say that we want a better government. We want trust and confidence back in our elections. Let me tell you, getting here today, it took a whole bunch of people from a lot of different walks of life. Every skin color, every religion, every gender, every orientation, and yes, every political party affiliation. As both Congressman Ken Calvert and Tony Strickland noted, the polling overwhelmingly shows a supermajority consensus for voter ID requirements. A majority of Democrats, a supermajority of independents and Republicans support voter ID. It's common sense. If you need an ID to board an airplane or buy a pack of cigarettes or get a pack of beer, a case of beer, you should make it pretty easy to use an ID to vote in an election. This is not hard. It's not rocket science. It's quite simple. But the politicians in Sacramento don't want to do even the most simple common sense reforms to restore public trust and confidence in our elections. Why? They don't want this to happen despite all the bipartisan support. Why? You should ask them that. Why do you not want to have strong trust and confidence in our elections? I think the answer is they like to divide us. And they don't mind when public participation plummets in our elections. In every state that has enacted a voter ID requirement in the last decade, voting participation has gone up, including amongst minority groups. Those are the facts. In this election.
Alrighty. And the last, oh no, there's one more that I want to share. But check this out. This is, I'm not sure how true this is. This is from AutoViral. I don't know how much I trust it, but ICE begins going after employers who hire illegal immigrants. Do you support this? Yes. Kramis, the reason why I don't talk much about red states is because the only red states that I hear so much about is Florida, Michigan. I showed a video earlier about what's going on in Michigan. If you missed it, let me know. I'll play it again. But I live in a blue state. Me and Rajbay both do. And we know how horrible Democrats are in blue cities and states. I really don't understand the logic of humans who vote for this garbage to be in office. I just can't even. I'm going to have to pray for this. I'm going to have to pray about this. I have not 1 ounce of respect for the mayor or the governor of Washington State, not along all the illegal immigrants who are in the city council. I have no respect for them. I have to pray about it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just wrong. All right. One last thing before we start taking phone calls. Let's go ahead and listen to Senator Mullins here. I love listening to this guy. He's awesome, isn't he? He is a family man, and I like him.
When they can't make an articulate point, they say that it's either racist, it's unconstitutional, or it's not legal. Hey guys, I'm just outside the studios where I have been doing some of my media hits. I want to address what Mark Kelly and Seth Moulton and Chris Murphy and all these other Democrats that are out there saying that the president doesn't have the legal authority to do this, or he's outside his constitutional authority to do this. And I just want to remind people, one, Barack Obama bombed 6 countries in 2016, dropping over 26,000 bombs. Not one Democrat said he didn't have the authority to do so. You go back to Joe Biden bombed several countries in his 4 years there, and not one Democrat said he didn't have the authority to do so. So what are they talking about? When they can't make an articulate point, they say that it's either racist, it's unconstitutional, or it's not legal. But they never give specifics. Let me give you some specifics that is actually factual. One, the authority given to the president by Congress, meaning what we delegated the powers from Congress to the president, is that he has to notify Congress within 48 hours during a strike. He's done that. If he commits troops to a region in the U.S. interest, he has to come back to Congress within 60 to 90 days. And either one, say that it's under the AUMF, which is the authorization of military force, or he has to ask Congress to declare war. Well, we're still within the 90 days, and he notified Congress within 48 hours, so what is it they're talking about? Are they arguing that the world's a better place if the Ayatollah wasn't killed? Are they trying to say that Iran isn't the country that's been the #1 sponsor of terror around the world? Are they trying to say that Iran hasn't and the Ayatollah regime hasn't been chanting death to America and attacking our assets for 47 years and has maimed or killed thousands of American citizens and military personnel? What this is really about is anything Trump does, they're against, regardless if it's the right move and it's good for America and our interests home and abroad.
I agree. Sure, I agree. You see why I like him? That's why I like him. To me, what he says is common sense to me. You know, there was here, let me give you something positive, okay? There was a hearing where, you know, I don't like AOC. I think she's an idiot, and I think that she's a sellout to this country. I think that she has been corrupted with money and power. But I'm going to tell you something. As airhead and dumb as she is, she did bring a good point during a hearing, and I liked it. She was talking with manufacturers that sell parts to the United States military for a very, very expensive price. Now, I don't know what the outcome of this was, but I did like the fact that she was questioning paying $10,000 for a small bag of divots. And, that's what I expect. I expect Congress, I expect senators, to be able to, argue things for the better of our country, work on the economy, start working for American citizens instead of working for illegal immigrants. I don't blame Craig Miss for talking shit about Honduras because he knows that I'm a migrant that became an American citizen. I'm a naturalized American citizen. And I don't blame him because I see all these other people like Ilhan Omar, these are mayors in Michigan, and, now you got Mondami in New York, and you got all these, people that come from other countries, and they become American citizens, but they don't look for American citizens' well-being. They just don't care. And they keep just supporting the country, the religion, where they come from. When they come to this country, and one of the things that you have to do, you have to make an oath. You got to make an oath. You guys can go to my profile on YouTube, and you can read it. I believe I have it on my YouTube profile. Okay? They are property of Allah. I don't even think they are. Let me remind people, and there's a very few people in here tonight anyway, but let me remind people that Islam is a government, political, made-up religion to control the people, and they have been successful somewhat. Christians put them in their place for a bit, but now they're starting to get popular again. And the way that they make themselves popular now is taking advantage. See, they're using our own rules against us. They're using the Bible against us. They're using the Constitution against us. But I'm the kind of guy that when I read something like the Constitution, I know that the United States Constitution is for American citizens. To where a lot of dumb-ass Americans, they think that the Constitution is for all Americans and illegals and foreigners, and it's for the world. No, it's not. That would be the stupidest Constitution if it was that way. And it should be abolished. I will dare say that the founding fathers were retarded. If the Constitution of the United States of America was written for the benefit and protection of our enemies and illegal foreigners that come into our country, our founding fathers were retarded. What a best way to set up this country to be destroyed and abused. I'm surprised it took this long for them to figure it out. I'm surprised. A lot of you always tell me common sense is not so common anymore, Dennis. And it's true. It's not so common anymore. We have to continue telling the truth, no matter what. No matter what. I know that some people will try to encourage me and discourage me and tell me that there is nothing that I can do to help the United States of America. Nothing. But I gotta try, doggone it. I gotta try. Listen, I can't find the whole clip from Marco Rubio, but I will play this one clip here. Warren's next phase of strikes will be even more punishing, which I already know, but here we go. Let me go ahead and play this for you.
All right, we had to cut into this break. Secretary of State Marco Rubio speaking on the Hill. Let's listen in.
The United States conducted this operation with a very clear goal in mind. I haven't got a chance to see a lot of reporting. I don't understand what the confusion is. Let me explain it to you, and I'll do it once again as clearly as possible. Perhaps you'll report it that way. The United States is conducting an operation to eliminate the threat of Iran's short-range ballistic missiles and the threat posed by their Navy, particularly to naval assets. That is what it is focused on doing right now, and it's doing quite successfully. I'll leave it to the Pentagon and the Department of War to discuss the tactics behind that and the progress that's being made. That is the clear objective of this mission. The second question that's been asked is, why now? Well, there's two reasons why now. The first is it was abundantly clear that if Iran came under attack by anyone, the United States or Israel or anyone, they were going to respond and respond against the United States. The orders had been delegated down to the field commanders. It was automatic, and in fact, it bared to be true, because in fact, within an hour of the initial attack on the leadership compound, the missile forces in the south and in the north, for that matter, had already been activated to launch. In fact, those had already been pre-positioned. The third is the assessment that was made that if we stood and waited for that attack to come first before we hit them, we would suffer much higher casualties. And so the president made the very wise decision. We knew that there was going to be an Israeli action. We knew that that would precipitate an attack against American forces. And we knew that if we didn't preemptively go after them before they launched those attacks, we would suffer higher casualties and perhaps even higher those killed. And then we would all be here answering questions about why we knew that and didn't act. Going back to the purpose of this is to destroy that missile capability. Why does Iran want that ballistic missile capability? What they are trying to do and have been trying to do for a very long time is build a conventional weapons capability as a shield where they can hide behind. Meaning, there would come a point where they have so many conventional missiles, so many drones, and it can inflict so much damage that no one can do anything about their nuclear program. That is what they were trying to do, is put themselves in a place of immunity where the damage they could inflict on the region would be so high that no one can do anything about their nuclear program or their nuclear ambitions. They are producing, by some estimates, over 100 of these missiles a month. Compare that to the 6 or 7 interceptors that can be built a month. They can build 100 of these a month, not to mention the thousands of one-way attack drones that they also have. They've been doing this for a very long time, and by the way, they've been doing it under sanction. You see the attacks they're conducting right now? They're attacking airports, they're attacking hotels, they're hitting not just military bases, they're attacking our embassies directly, they're attacking facilities that have nothing to do with war or with military, and that's a weakened Iran. That's in Iran despite years of sanction. Imagine a year from now, or a year and a half from now, the capabilities they would have to inflict damage on us. It's an unacceptable risk, especially in the hands of a regime that's run by radical clerics. The Ayatollah was a radical cleric. That entire regime is led by radical clerics who don't make geopolitical decisions. They make decisions on the basis of theology, their view of theology, which is an apocalyptic one. That has to be taken very seriously as well. So that was the purpose for what this operation is all about. That's what it's focused on. As the President said earlier today, it is on or ahead of schedule. I will defer to the Department of War to discuss the progress being made at a tactical level, but it was the right decision and an important decision for the safety and security of the world. There absolutely was an imminent threat, and the imminent threat was that we knew that if Iran was attacked, and we believed they would be attacked, that they would immediately come after us. And we were not going to sit there and absorb a blow before we responded, because the Department of War assessed that if we did that, if we waited for them to hit us first after they were attacked, and by someone else, Israel attacked them, they hit us first, and we waited for them to hit us, we would suffer more casualties and more deaths. We went proactively in a defensive way to prevent them from inflicting higher damage. Had we not done so, there would have been hearings on Capitol Hill about how we knew that this was going to happen and we didn't act preemptively to prevent more casualties and more loss of life.
The U.S. was forced to strike because of an impending Israeli action?
No, two things I would say. Number one is, no matter what, ultimately this operation needed to happen. That's the question of why now. But this operation needed to happen because Iran in about a year or a year and a half would cross the line of immunity, meaning they would have so many short-range missiles, so many drones, that no one could do anything about it because they could hold the whole world hostage. Look at the damage they're doing now. And this is a weakened Iran. Imagine a year from now. So that had to happen. Obviously, we were aware of Israeli intentions and understood what that would mean for us, and we had to be prepared to act as a result of it. But this had to happen no matter what.
Secretary, President Trump
said overnight that his top choices to now run Iran were killed in the strikes. Does the United States have a firm plan for how they intend to handle this power vacuum in Iran to ensure that an Iron Dome hardliner does not take power?
So two things, and two things can be true. Number one is our mission and our focus is the destruction of their ballistic missile capabilities and their ability to manufacture them, as well as the threat posed by their Navy to global shipping. That's our objective. That said, we would not mind, we would not be heartbroken, and we hope that the Iranian people can overthrow this government and establish a new future for that country. We would love for that to be possible. But the objective of this mission is the destruction of their ballistic missile capabilities and of their naval capabilities.
So are you saying, based on that, are you saying that there is no responsibility, no plan for the U.S. to at least play a role in whatever government comes next?
We might. We'll see how circumstances play out. But I'm telling you what the objectives of this operation are. The objectives of this operation are to destroy their ballistic missile capability and make sure they can't rebuild it, and make sure that they can't hide behind that to have a nuclear program. That's the objective of the mission.
The question was...
That said, abundantly clear, we would love for there to be an Iran that's not governed by radical Shia clerics. As I've said myself repeatedly for years, the leadership of that country does not reflect the people of Iran, and I think that's been pretty apparent in the protests that you've seen. If there's something we can do to help them down the road, we'd obviously be open to it, but that's not the objective. The objective of this mission is the destruction of their ballistic missile capability.
Has not gone well for the United States.
The what now?
Regime change has not gone well for the United States for many, many decades. How do you assure the American public that things will not get worse for the next regime that comes in there and replaces the...
Well, we would love to see this regime be replaced. And ultimately, as the president has said, he calls... No, but let me finish my answer. As the president said, he would love for the people of Iran to use this as an opportunity to rise up and remove these leaders. They've been wanting to remove them from a long time. We've seen successive waves of protests, and we've seen them slaughter people. Okay? But the objective of this mission is to make sure they don't have these weapons that can threaten us and our allies in the region. That's why we're doing what we're doing now. And while we would love to see a new regime, the bottom line is no matter who governs that country a year from now, they're not going to have these ballistic missiles and they're not going to have these drones to threaten us. That's the objective of this mission, is to deny them the ability to use ballistic missiles to threaten their neighbors, to threaten our bases, to threaten our presence in the region, and ultimately as a shield behind which they can do whatever they want with their nuclear weapons ambition. We were not going to let them hide behind that, and that's why this was such a critical mission to undertake now while they were at their weakest point, and not a year from now where they could inflict even more damage and perhaps already be behind that point of immunity. Go ahead, you and then you. Yes.
Your critics in Congress have said that they should have a role, they should be able to weigh in here, and there are going to be war powers resolutions votes in Congress later this week. Why not notify Congress ahead of this, and does Congress...
Well, we did. We notified Congress. I mean, we notified the Gang of Eight. We notified congressional leadership. There's no law that requires us to do that. The law says we have to notify them 48 hours after beginning hostilities. We've done that. I think the notification went today. But we did notify members of Congress in advance. But we can't notify 535 members of Congress.
Vote to authorize the war.
Well, the Congress can vote on whatever they want, but there's no law that requires us to do that. And I want to say something, because I see people on TV. Look, that's fine. If they want to take a war powers vote, they can do that. They've done that. They've done that a bunch of times. But there's no, people keep saying that there's no law that requires the president to have done anything with regards to this. To begin with, no presidential administration has ever accepted the War Powers Act as constitutional. Not Republican presidents, not Democratic presidents. That said, we have followed the notification at 48 hours. We're here today. I've done more Gang of Eight briefings than I got in the 4 years that Biden was president and I was a member of the Gang of Eight. All of that said, we've complied with the law 100%. And we're going to continue to comply with it. We've done the notification, and we officially to Congress, but we did notify members of Congress. We just can't notify 535 people. That's not possible, but we did the Gang of Eight twice. I briefed them last week, and then I called them the night before the operation.
Can you tell us what you know, Mr. Secretary, of the administration knows about the strike on a building in southern Iran that the Iranians are saying was a school, reports of large civilians, including children killed?
Yeah, I've seen those reports. I would refer you, not because I'm not trying to answer your question, but I don't want to get it wrong. The Department of War would be investigating that if that was our strike, and I would refer your question to them, and I'll make sure they're aware that you have that question. But we'd like to know.
An American missile.
Well, clearly, the United States would not deliberately target a school. Our objectives are missiles, both the ability to manufacture manufacture them and the ability to launch them, and the one-way attract drones. That would be our focus, and that's what we would be focused on. We would have no interest and, frankly, no incentive to target civilian infrastructure. The Iranians are, on the other hand, targeting civilian infrastructure. You guys have seen it. I'm sure you've seen it. They're hitting hotels. They're hitting embassies. They're hitting airports. They're hitting oil infrastructure.
Children killed.
Well, it'd be very tragic, but I can't speak to the details behind it because I just don't have it. It would be a tragic outcome if it's happened. I don't have the details as to what led to it, but what is clear that the United States would not deliberately target a school. They are, on the other hand, deliberately targeting civilians, as you've seen, because you know why? They are a terroristic regime. They sponsor terrorism and they participate in terrorism.
What's your message to Americans who are concerned about rising energy prices given the spiking of oil prices today?
Yes, and we knew that going in would be a factor, and so we have a program in place that will begin to be implemented by Secretary Wright, Secretary Bessent. We talked about it last night, again, about this program. We talked this morning, and starting tomorrow you will see us rolling out those phases to try to mitigate against that. Obviously, markets are going to be reacting to news about what's happening. And again, a reminder, think about it, okay? This terroristic regime, led by radical clerics, has the ability, potentially, to shut off 20% of global energy. That's the kind of leverage they have because of their Navy. We're going to destroy their Navy. But there is a plan in place. We anticipated this could be an issue, and Secretary Wright and Bessent will begin to roll out those steps starting tomorrow to mitigate against the impact that could have.
Do you anticipate putting boots on the ground, and how long do you anticipate the conflict to last?
Well, we don't. Let me say two things about it. Number one, the president always has the options to undertake whatever operations he decides to do as the commander-in-chief. That said, we believe the objective that we have set for this mission, which is the destruction of their ballistic missile capabilities, both launch capability and manufacturing, can be achieved without ground forces. Right now, we're not postured for ground forces, but obviously the president has those options. He's never going to rule out anything. But right now, our focus is on the destruction of their ballistic missile launchers, their ballistic missile stockpiles, and their ballistic missile manufacturing capability, as well as their one-way attract drones and their Navy, because of the threat it poses to global shipping.
How long do you expect that?
I can only do one more, right there in the middle. Yes, sir.
Is there a diplomatic exchange going on right now between the U.S. and Iran? Any exchanges whatsoever outside?
No, not at this time. I mean, look, we always have people that reach out from inside of governments. You don't know if they're authorized to reach out or not. They're suffering a tremendous amount of damage. Honestly, again, I'm not going to give away the details of our tactical efforts, but the hardest hits are yet to come from the U.S. military. The next phase will be even more punishing on Iran than it is right now. Someone was screaming, how long will it take? I don't know how long it'll take. We have objectives. We will do this as long as it takes to achieve those objectives, and we will achieve those objectives. The world will be a safer place when we're done with this operation. All right? Thank you, guys.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe.
Well, you know what? I know that there is a lot of more popular podcasters, right, that have been doing this for a long time. And they also say, because everybody gets excited that, don't get me wrong, I love Rubio. I think he's doing a tremendous job. But I am the kind of person, and I'm going to tell you this. I'm gonna brag a little bit, okay? I am a very, very good coach. I know I should be coaching the Seahawks, etc., or the Sounders. But I'm going to tell you why I'm a very good coach. It's not just that I know the game, etc. But even when I can't play the game, I know talent. And I know where talent belongs. And I can tell you right now, I love Marco Rubio, and I know that he will be president in due time. But I'm telling you right now, the way things are going, and this is, listen, just take it with a grain of salt, okay? You can go and tell PBD that I said this, okay? PBD, Patrick is a very smart man, businessman, successful, millionaire. I mean, the whole enchilada. Hey, Brenda, how are you, cuz? Good to see you on here. You know, these guys, they're popular. They're business, they're successful business people. Great. But let me tell you what I see. See, Patrick and a lot of podcasters, and even some of you here probably see it this way. You're seeing all the action. You're seeing all the attention that Marco Rubio is getting. When I watch the State of the Union speech, some people said that J.D. Vance is just a Trump wannabe. A Trump wannabe. I want you to listen to this. I'm going to try to dissect it as best as I can. But I can tell you, you have to know how to read the players. Marco Rubio was sitting down as everybody else stands up. I am the same way. I don't always want to stand up when people stand up. Just clap. I get it. JR, where have you been, man? I'm muted. Man, you better unmute me. You better unmute me. Oh, man. I don't know if there's any closed captions on that, bro. Get your earpiece on. But check this out. I'm not saying anything wrong with Marco Rubio not standing up with everybody else. He stood up out of respect and sat back down. I got it. I get it. No worries. I am the same way. I don't always want to stand up for every single comment. I will clap. I give you props, but you have to understand. I know how the game is played when it comes to business. I have been an entrepreneur myself. I have spoken in front of many thousands of people. And I know that there is a rule that when somebody talks and they say something nice, you always want to have somebody agreeing with you. You always want to have people stand up and clap. You got to do it to get people going. But I don't always believe that is the case. I don't always believe that's the case. And so I think Marco Rubio is doing a tremendous job. But what we need is somebody who is going to continue to follow the footsteps of President Donald Trump. J.D. Vance is the best candidate. I think Trump got experience from the first time that he became president. He picked the wrong guy the first time. I get it. You know what? That's okay. Unfortunately, you can't just change vice presidents. You can't just fire him. But he betrayed him. And I can tell you, J.D. Vance, just as any other president, we need somebody that's going to do what it takes to guide this country in the right direction. Hey, Ozzy, what's going on, baby? Good to hear, bro. We missed you over here, JR. We missed you, brother. We were thinking about you. And so I think that the best plan of action, if my 2 cents count, I can tell you this. I would love to have the next 2 to 3 decades with Republicans who continue to follow these policies that put America first, that continue to flex against tyrants, dictators, and bully rulers of the world. We need a president that's going to be a bully to the bully and is going to put them in their place. J.D. Vance is going to do that. And I think that J.D. Vance is the president because he's not going to go back to being vice president for another person. He needs to move up. He needs the ascension. He needs the promotion. So I think J.D. Vance being president and Marco Rubio, if he still wants to be president, I think he needs to go as vice president. And they can run that twice, 8 years. When President J.D. Vance steps down, Rubio takes over as president and grabs Tulsi Gabbard as the vice president. They can do that for 8 years. That's 16 years minimum together. And then I got Tulsi Gabbard and I don't know who else. I stop at Tulsi Gabbard. Who knows who's going to be next? But I can tell you that Tulsi Gabbard, I think she's going to do a great job, a tremendous job. It's just when she was supposed to be president, when she ran to be president, it wasn't her time. It wasn't her time. Right now, she's kind of like in the shadows, but she's doing a tremendous job herself. J.D. Vance is doing a tremendous job. They just don't promote him. You don't see them on the news like you see, Marco Rubio. He's more on the face of the of Trump. But in reality, J.D. Vance has the seniority on the floor, and I think that we can have just those three people. We can have at least 24 years of the same policies, putting America first, and that's why I think President J.D. Vance should be up, and then it will be President Marco Rubio. That's my 2 cents. Remember what I said to watch Iran after we got Maduro? Not Maduro, Maduro. Yes. And we agree on that. And we're also watching Cuba. I thought Cuba will be first, but the Iranian Khamenei decided to kill over 30,000 people. His own people, by the way. He is a murderer. Nobody wants to stand up against him, so somebody's got to do it. Thank you, David. Somebody's got to do it. Hey, Mud, how are you? And so that's just my 2 cents. I can tell you right now, that is the best way to play it. I think J.D. Vance for 8, and then Rubio for 8, and then Tulsi for 8. And then who knows? Maybe some new talents will rise up. You never know. But, let's take a listen to see what Hillary Clinton thinks about Iran. All the Democrats love Hillary Clinton. I mean, all the Democrats voted, well, most of them. Most of the Democrats voted for Hillary Clinton, right? So she's got to be right about something. Let's take a listen.
Iran were to launch...
All right, let me rewind this from the beginning.
Well, the question was, if Iran were to launch a nuclear attack on Israel, what would our response be? And I want the Iranians to know that if I'm the president, we will attack Iran. Whatever stage of development they might be in their nuclear weapons program in the next 10 years, during which they might foolishly consider launching an attack on Israel, we would be able to totally obliterate them. That's a terrible thing to say, but those people who run Iran need to understand that, because that perhaps will deter them from doing something that would be reckless, foolish, and tragic.
I agree. Isn't that fantastic? Guys, I got to watch this.
Still on the subject of securing America on nuclear weapons, President Obama reportedly considered changing the nation's longstanding policy on first use. Do you support the current policy? Mr. Trump, you have 2 minutes on that.
Well, I have to say that, for what Secretary Clinton was saying about nuclear with Russia, she's very cavalier in the way she talks about various countries. But Russia's been expanding. They have a much newer capability than we do. We have not been updating from the new standpoint. I looked the other night, I was seeing B-52s. They're old enough that your father, your grandfather could be flying them. We are not keeping up with other countries. I would like everybody to end it, just get rid of it, but I would certainly not do first strike. I think that once the nuclear alternative happens, it's over. At the same time, we have to be prepared. I can't take anything off the table, because you look at some of these countries, you look at North Korea, we're doing nothing there. China should solve that problem for us. China should go into North Korea. China is totally powerful as it relates to North Korea. And by the way, another one powerful is the worst deal I think I've ever seen negotiated that you started is the Iran deal. Iran is one of their biggest trading partners. Iran has power over North Korea. And when they made that horrible deal with Iran, they should have included the fact that they do something with respect to North Korea. And they should have done something with respect to Yemen and all these other places. And when asked to Secretary Kerry, why didn't you do that? Why didn't you add other things into the deal? One of the great giveaways of all time, including $400 million in cash. Nobody's ever seen that before. That turned out to be wrong. It was actually $1.7 billion in cash. Obviously, I guess, for the hostages, it certainly looks that way. So you say to yourself, why didn't they make the right deal. This is one of the worst deals ever made by any country in history. The deal with Iran will lead to nuclear problems. All they have to do is sit back 10 years, and they don't have to do much, and they're going to end up getting nuclear. I met with Bibi Netanyahu the other day. Believe me, he is not a happy camper.
All right. Mrs. Clinton, Secretary Clinton, you have 2 minutes.
Let me start by saying words matter. Words matter when you run for president, and they really matter when you are president. And I want to reassure our allies in Japan and South Korea and elsewhere that we have mutual defense treaties and we will honor them. It is essential that America's word be good. And so I know that this campaign has caused some questioning and some worries on the part of many leaders across the globe. I've talked with a number of them. But I want to, on behalf of myself, and I think on behalf of a majority of the American people, say that, our word is good. It's also important that we look at the entire global situation. There's no doubt that we have other problems with Iran, but personally, I'd rather deal with the other problems having put that lid on their nuclear program than still to be facing that. And Donald never tells you what he would do. Would he have started a war? Would he have bombed Iran? If he's going to criticize a deal that has been very successful in giving us access to Iranian facilities that we never had before, then he should tell us what his alternative would be. But it's like his plan to defeat ISIS. He says it's a secret plan, but the only secret is that he has no plan. So we need to be more precise in how we talk about these issues. People around the world follow our presidential campaigns so closely, trying to get hints about what we will do. Can they rely on us? Are we going to lead the world with strength and in accordance with our values? That's what I intend to do. I intend to be a leader of our country that people can count on, both here at home and around the world, to make decisions that will further peace and prosperity, but also stand up to bullies, whether they're abroad or at home. We cannot let those who would try to destabilize the world, to interfere with American interests and security, to be given any opportunities at all.
Madam Secretary, let me add that Ronald Reagan pointed out very well in the 80s that the only way that North Korea, Russia, and China are going to listen to us is by showing strength, because they don't respect people who are not tough. And that's why President Donald Trump is the president. Now, I will give President Donald Trump a break because he didn't have experience being president the first time around. He got double-crossed, backstabbed, cheated on. All the bad things that can happen to a president happened to President Donald Trump. But as the lion fighter that he is, he still got a lot of things done. And I commend him for that. I cannot be mad at him for that. I think that makes him even greater, that he was able to accomplish so many things despite all the nasty people on the Democratic side that went against him. Now, you guys saw that part, and this is something that we followed up earlier today. I got this link sent by Cutting Edge, which is the little super chat that he put on there. And this is the news, that what you just heard has to do with this. Obama just lawyered up. And now we know why. And here it is. You heard it from President Donald Trump. He said this before he was president the first time. Listen to that. This is why they don't like this guy. This is why they hate President Donald Trump. President Donald Trump is the guy that came and disrupted all this fraud, all this abuse that's going on. The President Donald Trump is the one that stirred the pot. Everybody, you got to listen. President Trump said this before he was president the first time. He was talking about Japan. He was talking about China. He was talking about North Korea in the 80s. I remember in the early 90s when I heard him talk about this. People forget. But I like to remember some things that are important in history. Well, here we go. March 2nd at 7 a.m., Mr. Poole gave us a little post and says Barack Hussein Obama has retained a team of 9 criminal defense attorneys, not civil, not advisory, but criminal. The same man who told you hope and change. Live long and prosper. The $150 billion lie. In 2016, Obama said I ran $150 billion and $1.7 billion in physical cash. Pallets of money loaded. You guys remember that? I'm sure you remember. We don't have to go through the whole thing. The DOJ files released yesterday show that $2.3 billion of Epstein's network ran through Iranian banks. Very interesting. The Dutch bank. JP Morgan, out of all the banks, Melia ran a state-owned bank under Obama's nuclear deal exemptions. Isn't that interesting? Does it remind you of the Leering Center in Minnesota? Does it remind you of the hoax, the fraud and abuse from Minnesota? Now in Washington State, $416 million. Unaccounted money, daycare systems, daycare businesses, autistic centers for autistic children that didn't exist. That is crazy. Crazy. And the Democrats want to defend this garbage. I can't wait. I cannot wait for justice to happen. Oh, my goodness. All right, guys. I'm going to go ahead and open up the lines here. And hopefully everybody can hear. Let me go ahead and change this here. And there you have it. Let's do it that way. See if that works. There you go, my peeps. You got a chance to call in and tell me why your state is so great. Tell me the story. JR, you can call if you're not too drunk. You shouldn't be drinking if you're on medicines. Donald, the evidence is sipping out. You know what? Little by little, man. It's as much as these people hate President Donald Trump, they're getting found out. Little by little, they're getting found out. They are getting found out. Let me put this down here. Shrink that baby a little bit. Put you there. And let me add my little animations here. Not that one. Let's see, this one. Yeah, that one's okay. There we go. There we go. All right, anybody, be courageous. Go ahead and give me a call and tell me why your state is it a blue or a red state, and tell me what's working great for that. BC Gay won't be available until tomorrow. He was being a royal. I got it. Oh, yeah. Okay, JR, you're good, brother. Your excuse today. That's all good. Let's see. You think those checks are coming? Oh, sure. Okay, Mr. Donald, fake, whatever you are. He never promised checks. I don't know who told you that lie. Let's take, you know what? Why don't we just take a look and see if President Donald Trump promised checks? Because what I remember is that it would be a good idea. And maybe we can use the tariff money to send out checks. I know that was the idea. I don't think that was a promise. Let's see. I thought you couldn't call.
I'm going to try to talk.
All right. You don't have to yell too much. Hopefully people can hear you. Tell me, what state you live in, what do you like about it and what you don't like about it?
I live in Indiana.
Indiana. Red state, blue state?
Oh, we're red.
Red state. What don't you like about Indiana? What you don't like?
You know, one of the things with Indiana is real estate markets have just exploded over here, but the wages ain't keeping up. So, like, we got in right before the massive influx on the pricing of housing. You know, hell, man, just 20 years ago, and keep in mind, 20 years ago, but 20 years ago, in the town that I live in, I rented a 3-bedroom house with a full basement for $420 a month. Now, 1-bedroom apartments are going for $1,200 a month.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and this is a small town. This ain't like Indianapolis or any of the major cities, you know. Otherwise, what I love about it is life is easy here. You know, it really is. I got some acreage. You know, I don't have to lock my doors. You know, my nearest neighbor is a quarter mile away. You know, it's nice. It's nice to have privacy.
Yeah.
So how was your trip, brother?
My trip was fantastic. I mean, I didn't get out as much as I wanted to in Honduras, but you guys saw my lives. I had a blast walking. You know, a lot of people always warn me, you know, about going down a street and violence and the gangs and this and that. I didn't see any of that at all. I mean, the people drive crazy as heck, but, you know, I thought it was great. Weather was fantastic. It was rainy. The only thing that comes in Honduras is a couple of things. It's when it's the rainy season, there's a lot of floods. When it's summertime, dry season, rivers dry out. And so really, if I was to say anything great about Honduras is, besides I love Honduras, it's if anybody wants to visit Honduras at all, the best place that I can recommend is the Bay Islands of Honduras. It's a small place, very touristic. The beaches are some of the best beaches in the world. We got the third greatest or biggest coral reefs, which makes it nice for snorkeling. We have a lot of keys with beautiful spots where people can have picnics and swim with the sharks. If you like that. I think it was great.
Very much white people stuff there.
There is a lot of foreigners. But you know what? Believe it or not, there's a lot of Hispanics that come from Salvador, from Guatemala, from Mexico. I mean, a lot of these people from all over Latin America, they come there to get married. You know, it's just such a beautiful scenery. It really is a beautiful island. If you go to the area of the island where the locals live, that's a different story, right? Because it's not a touristic place, and you're gonna see the people that they're not dressed for tourists. You're gonna see the bad side of the island and the good side of the island, but
But yeah, man, my surgery went well. I go for my first follow-up tomorrow morning. But it's been nuts, huh? You remember, I told you, man. I told you after we got Maduro,
Yeah.
Check out what's going on in Iran. They are next.
I really thought Cuba was going to go first. But you know what I think accelerated it? The killings of the protesters. It was over 30,000 people, bro, that got killed, and I think that's why Trump pulled the trigger. A lot of people on the left, they keep talking about this. Oh, it's oil money again. Here we go again. And it's like, bro, we get enough oil for ourselves. We don't need the oil from Iran. We don't need it. That's who needs the oil from Iran? China, Russia. We don't.
You know, I keep seeing all these. Did you see the protests in L.A. where on one side was the pro-Palestine people, on the other side was the free Iran people, the actual Iranians, you know, praising Donald Trump and all that. They're just countering each other.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh! And did you also see the thing that happened in Austin, Texas, with that one reporter who started reporting, went to a wrong site, and he went to an Iranian site where they were praising Donald Trump, and the reporter they started doing his live, and then he gets a text from the program director not to report on what's going on there. He just kind of said, screw that, it's my job to report. I'm going to report on what's in front of me, you know. And yeah, I don't think he works for CNN anymore.
Who knows, man? They're so corrupted they will probably still keep him anyway. Hey, but it's good to hear your voice, man. I was thinking about you, and I really mean that. It's funny, I still got your mug right here on the box with no name, but I know it's you. I will send it to you eventually. Who knows? Maybe I'll keep it, and then you can come and get it once I start campaigning for governor here. Hey, bro, did you know that there is a Dennis Herrera in Texas that I believe won for Congress? I think is what it was. Somebody pointed it out. I was like, wait, what was his name? Brandon Herrera is what his name was. There was a Brandon Herrera in Texas that won, I guess. Here's the funny part. The funny part is this. He's a YouTuber. You know, thank you, Looking Glass. Yeah, Brandon Herrera. He's a YouTuber, bro. And you know how people feel about YouTubers going for office? Oh, you're stupid. You're not going to make it. Blah, 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 blah. You know what, Kramis? Out of all the people, I think that Kramis, I will never invite him to the White House here in Washington State. He will never get an invitation from me. He is banned. His negativity is beyond tolerable. Oh man, yeah, but this guy Brandon Herrera, you're right. Good looking out. Looking Glass is giving me some info. Yeah, he's a owner. He's a gun. What is it? A gun company owner is what he is. Yeah, he's an owner that he's a firearms guy, and I think it's fantastic because let's go, Brandon. Because I am going to try to bring back the AR-15s in Washington State. I got one person who was excited about that. And then the other thing that I'm going to go fight is try to get rid of this stupid income state tax that they just passed. And, you know, if Washingtonians don't show up to vote for me, they deserve everything that's happening to them. I believe so far they got cheated. Okay, we got cheated. But if they don't show up after everything that I'm going to let loose on the campaign trail, I will not defend them at all anymore. I will have to say goodbye to my beautiful state. I don't know if I'm going to come and visit. Maybe I'll visit. But I will have to say goodbye to my beautiful state. And I don't know. Florida seems to be a good choice, but there is a better place than Florida. But I'm just not going to disclose that place until the time is right.
Well, you know, you're speaking of Texas. You know, Texas right now is trying to pass a bill to ban Sharia law in the state.
They passed that already, didn't they? They banned it already.
Oh, I thought it was up for a vote.
No, they banned Sharia law from Texas. There's another state that is doing the same thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but I don't remember what the state was, to be honest. I'm not keeping up with the Sharia law bullcrap. And if Americans are naive enough to allow them to pass a religious law to overpower the Constitution and our laws of the land, that they will be the stupidest people in this country. I wouldn't put it past them. There's a lot of libtards out there.
I guarantee you it'll be New York or California will be one of the first two, 1 and 2, as to the states that allow it.
Yeah.
And Michigan, probably number 3.
Well, what's his name? Luis Montalvo Jr. Montalvo Jr. here says, sounds like Trump forcing a vote, but will break his promises like Trump. I don't hate him for saying that, but I find very interesting that he says specifically Trump. He didn't say any politician like Democrats that have been lying up their ass and have broken every single promise they have made to the Hispanics, to the black communities, to the American people. It is such a disgrace. Not one Democrat, well, I mean, there's a couple of Democrats, but most Democrats did not stand when Trump asked them, if you agree that this government should prioritize American citizens over illegal immigrants, stand up. And they just sat there with their sad faces and anger and all this other stuff. They put their hate for Trump before the American people. And that should tell you everything. That should tell you everything about the Democrats that we have in office today. And so for somebody to say he's going to break promises like Trump did, well, let me tell you something. And here's a promise that you can take to the bank. President Donald Trump promised that he was going to secure the border. He did that on day one. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this on day one, but I'm going to get rid of sanctuary cities. And I'm going to secure Washington State for American citizens, residents, and legal migrants. We will call illegal immigrants illegal, not undocumented. I am a legal American citizen. When I don't have my papers with me, I'm undocumented. But that means that I am a legal citizen, so I do have documents if it's something that I have to show. So take that to the bank. That is a promise that I am going to fight to get rid of. No more sanctuary cities in Washington State. And I hope, and I will tell you this, if we win the first term in office, I will guarantee you that this state will probably never go red again, never go blue again.
You're going to kill it for us?
Bro, it's just never going to go blue again. I want to tell you because people want accountability. And I think the biggest key, and people cannot look at me and say, oh, he's a liar, he's lying. Well, hey, wait a minute. Here is transparency. We show you the videos. Hey, this is how much taxes was picked up, collected. This is the budget. This much money is going here, and transparency will be shown. There will be receipts for every dollar spent. And I want accountants that will be honest and that will report accordingly. I don't know. They're going to call me a dictator, but you know what? It is what it is. We need to bring order, and sometimes you got to tell everybody what to do. Everybody has a responsibility in government, and when they're not doing their job, I will call them on it. I want audits. I want full cooperation with the federal government. I will not impede, obstruct, or become an obstacle to the federal government. I want the federal government to be as involved with Washington State as we are local in this state. I want the FBI investigating all frauds, all scams. They will have full access to our government. And we are here to serve the American people. Oh, they're going to hate that. I bet you right now, all the libtards that come through my channel and hear that, they're going to go podcast that. Oh, man, this is a crazy guy. He thinks he can do this, blah, blah, blah. Tell your father. Tell your cousins. Yeah, they're not going to like me, bro. They're not going to like me. And maybe that's why I will lose. But, again, if I lose, hey, it's out of my hands. At least God sent them a messenger and they didn't listen. That's how it's going to go down.
If you lose, brother, you stood on your principles and you took one to the chin.
That's it. Yep, that's it.
But yeah, man, it'll be fun. We'll have fun when I'm out there.
Yeah, I pray for a quick recovery for you, my friend.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. Just a little stiffness on the neck, not too bad. Like, they gave me some good medications, but in all honesty, I haven't taken any of them. I've been just using, I got Oxy and all that. I've been going off ibuprofen and Tylenol, avoiding taking the big stuff. If I don't need it, why take it?
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, that's what the medicine's for, only if you need it. Now, if the doctor tells you to take it at a certain time, regardless, take it. A lot of times the doctor will tell you take it until it's finished.
Yep. Yeah, but I avoid the strong stuff, man. You give me a low-grade muscle relaxer and some ibuprofen, and I'm good. Hell, in the Marine Corps, everything from cancer to a stub toe, they give you Motrin 800.
Yeah. I used to take the Tylenol 500s, I think is what they gave me. Yeah. And sometimes that's not enough, man. Sometimes that's not enough. You have to learn to live with pain.
You're gonna love this. So I got the for the surgery I had done, they have to go through the front. So and then they move all your voice box and everything off to the side to work on your spine. So I got this slash on the front of my throat, man, and I was like, that's ironic. My wife goes, what? I said that, a doctor in this county did something the Colombian mob couldn't do to me.
Well, that's the one way they can shut you up. Let's hope I don't need nothing on my neck. This libtards are going to get a hold of that comment.
Oh gosh.
All right, brother. Thank you for calling in, man. Let me give some of these guys a chance to call in. Eric, go ahead, man. Have a good one, brother. I'll talk to you later. Eric, 808. You can go ahead and call and ask me a question. Anybody can go ahead and call in. The number is on your screen. Guys, I am not a scary guy. I'm not going to tear you apart. You're respectful. You want to have a conversation with me, show me. Okay? Give me your opinion. I'll give you mine. Okay? Go ahead. Call in. And don't block your number because I'm not going to pick up. Too many people have called in, and I like to block people that come in here and just start cussing, saying a bunch of nonsense. It is what it is. Okay? So don't block your number. I'll never call you anyway. I rarely call anybody that I know anyway. I don't like being on the phone too much. So I'm giving you a chance to use the phone number so that you can call so everybody can hear you. He said, I've been asking questions. You've been asking questions when I'm paying attention to somebody that I have on the line. What makes you think that I'm going to go ahead and look at every single comment that is on the chat while I'm on the phone with somebody else? That's just plain rude, man. That's just plain rude. Hey, how about this? We're going to watch a little clip before anybody else calls in. Check this out.
He's not going to be president. Donald Trump is not going to be president of the United States.
Never.
Take it to the bank. Okay. I guarantee.
Take it to the bank.
There's not going to be a President Donald Trump. That's not going to happen.
I think that man will be president of the United States right about the time that spaceships come down filled with dinosaurs and red capes.
On that note, Tom,
take it from me. How about that?
Donald Trump has been saying that he will run for president as a Republican, which is surprising since I just assumed he was running as a joke.
And we better be ready for the fact that he might be leading the Republican ticket next.
I know you don't believe that, but I want to go on.
Sorry to laugh.
Which Republican candidate has the best chance of winning the general election?
Of the declared ones, right now, Donald Trump.
You hear that? How they laughed at her for saying Donald Trump is going to win? Well, well, well.
Donald Trump, just last week, he confirmed to the National Review that he is again considering a run in 2016.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
Do it.
do it.
Donald Trump will never, ever be president of the United States.
Donald Trump will never be elected president of the United States.
Donald Trump is a here today, gone tomorrow candidate for president of the United States.
I continue to believe Mr. Trump will not be president.
He will never be president of the United States.
So when you stand and deliver that State of the Union address, in no part of your mind or brain can you imagine Donald Trump standing up one day and delivering a State of the Union address?
Well, I can imagine it in a Saturday night skit.
Well, you don't have to imagine it anymore, do you?
I, Donald John Trump, do solemnly swear that I will faithfully execute the office of President of the United States.
Bam!
So help me God.
And God put you there, my friend. God put you there. Democrats like to live in fantasy land. They don't want to live in fantasy life. That was just wonderful. Let me read one more. Let me play one more. Here we go. I got one more for you guys. Let's take a look. Lips crash out when GOP lawmaker confronts them for insurrectionist rhetoric. Here's something you might like.
If they come to our state, it's an invasion, it's an occupation. People are being kidnapped, not detained, not arrested, kidnapped. Rhetoric like that, and the stance that your party has taken from top to bottom, from Governor Walz all the way down, that there is no legitimacy to federal authority is nothing less than insurrectionist rhetoric. And that is why, take your moment.
Go ahead and laugh.
I got mine. Take your moment to digest that. Look it up. The number of lawyers that are laughing at me right now. Do you understand how the Supremacy Clause works? Do you understand what insurrection is? It's the undermining of federal authority. January 6th, thank you so much for bringing that up. You guys went on and on and on about that for what, 4 years? Yeah, it's still celebrated as a holiday on your side of the aisle. One riot on one day. It's an attack on democracy. You ran an entire election on it. For months and weeks on end, we have had the top law enforcement officer in this state, the governor in this state, the mayor of Minneapolis, and many of you actively undermine federal authority when it comes to immigration law. And acting upon that rhetoric, people like Renee Good and people like Alex Preddy put themselves in harm's way. They did what you
Point of order, Madam Speaker. Point of order.
Point of order. We don't want the nation to hear the truth. Point of order. Yes, it was because of them that those people put their lives in danger, and he is right to call them out on it.
Personalities. If they come to our state, it's an invasion.
Yep. I agree. What is this? California cannot afford Newsom's budget. All right. We'll go ahead and take a break on that one. All right. Does anybody else want to call in? This is your chance. This is your moment to shine. Any Democrat that wants to ask a question, or maybe you just want to give me information that you think. Just give me your opinion. No need to fight about it. I will try not to make fun of you. If you step out of line, though, if you dish it, you should be able to take it. All right? And if you get too disrespectful, I will hang up on you. You got 5 minutes. If you call in, you got 5 minutes to have a conversation. Come on, where did trolls go? Did they leave already? Oh, they left already. Eric, I still don't know what the hell you're talking about. This guy. Why are you typing to yourself? I don't get it. I don't know why you typing to yourself. I Cray says, I call, but you think I'm angry, not smart. Oh, man. All right, well, call in, Eric. Go ahead. Call in. Aloha. Come on, man. Somebody. Anybody. Anybody. Patrons, you got a comment you want to say, something going on about your state? Get it, get it, get it, get it. Here we go. Here we go. That's what I'm talking about. Oklahoma. Let's go. All right, who am I talking to?
Hello.
Hey, who's this?
My name is Ryder.
Ryder, what's going on? What do you want to say? What do you want to share with us tonight?
I wanted to say that, I want to say that MAGA are a bunch of Nazis, and y'all can suck my fat one.
What's a fat one? Oh, did you have your daddy tell you that? Whoever is the father of this child, shame on you. Shame on you for teaching your children to disrespect adults and be able to use that kind of language in society. That's very shameful. I think that was a boy. Hopefully he knows is a boy. Yeah. Unbelievable. I want to know, if you're going to call me a Nazi, I want you to tell me why. I want you to tell me why. Ryder, it is past your bedtime, isn't it? You should be getting ready for school. Yeah, it's very sad. Guys, it's the reality. It's the reality. Go ahead, BC. Go ahead and call in. I want you to give me your opinion. And remember, if you're going to insult me, you got to be able to tell me why. No, he was probably maybe 11, 12, maybe 11 or 12. I talk to teenagers this age in person, and they respect me in person. But that's okay. If the parents want to have them say those nasty things, it's very sad because they're destroying the innocence of these kids. They're not going to have a chance to grow up to be something that matters, that actually gives something to society. It's very sad. I'm telling you, I have plan B for my family. I don't want my children to live in a world that is so hateful. It is sad. All right, let's go from New York. Who's calling?
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, thanks for calling. Who's calling? This David?
Jose.
Jose, ¿cómo estás? How are you, my friend?
I'm all right. Hey,
All right.
listen, man, I'm with all the, I understand you support Trump, and it's not a bad thing to do that. But my understanding is, do you understand the person you support?
Yes.
So what is it that you support about him?
I support all his policies. America first. Secure the border. Get rid of illegal immigrants.
Yeah, but let's put politics out the way.
Yeah.
Let's put politics out the way.
Yeah.
Right? Let's take that out of the equation, and let's see factual things that's happened since he's been president. Right?
Okay, sure.
So you support, let's say, for instance, ICE agents killing and invading and taking away immigrants, people of your race.
What's my race? We're a human race. There's only one race.
Well, you're Spanish, right? Spanish descent.
Okay, so the Latin. They're taking away illegal immigrants.
But most likely they're targeting.
Sure, why not? They can target me, and if they come in, they can come and ask me, "Hey, are you an American citizen?" Sure, yeah. Where were you born? I was born in Honduras. I came here in 89, became a resident after 2.5 decades. I became an American citizen.
But what they're doing to regular people, civilians, entrapment.
They're
out there basically kidnapping.
It's not kidnapping. It's doing their jobs. They're doing their jobs.
Yeah, but it's a borderline. There's protocols in place for you to do a specific job. And once you pass those protocols and you take it upon yourself to enact violence and, break those laws, moral laws, that people have, then what is that,
Now, what morals are you talking about?
Moral laws, that's treat people fair, like don't hurt innocent people, stuff like that.
Okay, but who is innocent?
You can't basically say that nobody's innocent because majority of the people that are getting caught up are going to their jobs or getting caught outside coming from court or this and the,
Okay, so you do know that there is a law, an immigration law that everybody's supposed to follow. You break that law, as they say, you can come with us the easy way or the hard way.
Yeah, so what would you say about that law? So let's say, for instance, your parents, if they came here illegally, but then obtained their residency just to give you a better life.
Well, they got a residency. They got lucky.
And they're still getting harassed and trapped and sent back.
Well, they can just grab that residency, that green card, if it's legit.
How would you feel, though, if this happened to you under that administration of a president that you follow?
That's not a legit question.
How is it not?
Because it's not happening to me. And so it doesn't matter what I answer to you. You're not going to accept my answer.
No, it really doesn't matter. My thing is, so as long as it doesn't happen to you, you basically don't care.
No, did you understand what I just said? I said that is not a real question because it's not happening to me. So if I answer that question, you're not going to believe me anyway. So that's why it's not a real. Okay, so let me give you the answer. If that happened to me, I will make sure that I comply with everything they ask me. That's it. Why? If I fight them, they're gonna put me to the ground. They're gonna pepper spray me.
So you're scared of ICE?
I'm not scared of them, but I do respect the law. This is something my mother taught me.
Yeah, but let's say, for instance, all right, I understand. I definitely get it, and you have all the right to believe in your politics and the law, even if it's breaking the law to break your rights.
What rights? They're not breaking up my rights. You do understand that we have been invaded with millions of illegal immigrants. The least that we can do as citizens, as residents, as legal migrants, is cooperate so we don't make their jobs more difficult and ends up in a violent action. I show videos of police officers pulling people over. So here in Washington State, right, we have different laws than we have in Louisiana, in Texas, Florida, etc. And people act like the videos that they watch on TikTok. Maybe the shorts from YouTube talking about don't cooperate with police officers, don't cooperate with law enforcement. You don't have to show your license. You don't have to give him your name. In Washington State, that doesn't fly if you're getting stopped by a state patrol trooper. They pull you over for speeding or whatever the reason is, and they ask you for a license, registration, and insurance.
Why they stopped you, of course.
Yes, and of course, and they tell the people.
And your right is to not identify yourself if you don't have to, if you didn't break the law.
If you are driving the car and they tell you that your tabs are expired, that you're speeding,
then that's probable cause.
Okay, well there you go. But these people think that they don't have to say anything. They don't have to cooperate, and then when they get their windows broken, they get pulled out of their car.
That's a different scenario.
No, listen to the logic. It's not the same scenario, but listen to the logic. The police officer, the state patrol trooper is telling them, okay, I need you to shut down the engine. I need you to step out of the car. I pulled you over for speeding, probable cause. I need you to give me your license, registration, and proof of insurance. If you refuse that order, which is a lawful order, you have probable cause. Step out of the vehicle. If they decide to fight that command, now they can fight in court, of course, all they want. They can record all they want. The cops are recording as well. If they do not comply, listen to me. Let me finish. If they do not comply, you will end up eating pavement. Even if you're a woman, it doesn't matter who you are. If you resist arrest, force will be given according to the resisting force that you are resisting. When I see illegal immigrants getting arrested, when there is no protesters in the way, they're walking normal, hands behind their back, handcuffs into the car. But the moment that protesters start screaming, whistles and everything, they start fighting. Come on.
Well, What do you mean they start fighting? So
Yeah, they start fighting. They know they're illegal. They know they're getting arrested. But the moment that these protesters are out there making noise and doing this and that, they start resisting arrest when they were willing to go in the first place. So that's a problem, my friend. You have to respect the law. Listen, I call the police officer. I don't be like, hey, bro, hey, dude. No, even if they're younger than me, because I'm already almost a half a century old, okay? Even if they're younger than me, I don't call them bro. I call them sir. It's respect.
Well, you can respect, you can respect them all you want or whatever the case may be, but we're not going to sit here and deny like they've been all obtaining the law and going by the rules that, no, they have.
Well, don't worry. If you stick around, I'm going to show you a video of the crime chef. We get to share and watch together.
If anything, they incited more violence by the way they've been handling certain things.
How would you handle it?
Normal police officers wouldn't even handle situations like that.
Okay. How would you handle it?
People protesting.
Yeah. Okay. Protesting. How do you protest?
What do you mean, how do you protest?
Yeah.
You protest peacefully.
Yeah. Where?
Non-violent.
How?
What do you mean how?
How do you do that?
By protesting.
Yeah.
Whatever it is
Okay. So if you see ICE agents, if you see FBI, if you see police in an area,
you can protest as long as you're not obstructing their investigation.
There you go. Okay.
Which to them, every little crack thing is an investigation to them. Every confrontation is an investigation. There's no investigations. This is just lies. These people are regular civilians.
Yo, he was hauling ass. I seen that. I said, yo, he moving. Y'all know y'all can't chase back nobody in North, bro. Come on,
yeah,
bro.
let's watch a harassment video real quick. Here, let's watch this harassment video. Okay, I'm going to share with you.
Look at this motherfucking racist.
Here we have just spotted a Juanito and Karenita roaming in the wild. It's quite common for this species to pull the victim card immediately upon confrontation.
We're both U.S. citizens. I am a U.S. citizen. I am a
Show
U.S.
your paper.
citizen.
Very easy.
I am a U.S. citizen.
I am a U.S. citizen.
Shut the f*** up.
You hear that?
Shut the f*** up.
We're both U.S. citizens. Let me go.
Racist. Shut the fuck up.
Racist. They're Mexican police officers, by the way.
I'm a
ICE
U.S.
agents.
citizen. I'm American. You're not American. I am American. Look at this motherfucking racist. Look at this motherfucking racist.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
See that? That's what I mean by respect.
ID, this is motherfucker. She say ID. My ID, I am the...
Hold on.
I understand that.
Okay.
But was it entrapment?
Well, here's the thing. If they cooperated, right, they're citizens, of course, they don't have to go anywhere. They will just verify the documentation and be done. The problem is that when they don't have documents to identify themselves, if they don't have a license, for example, they have to go to for processing, because that's how they're gonna go ahead and verify that it's them.
Texas, brother. Listen, I'm from Texas, and that's not true, man. Because and I'm American. There's sometimes for a situation, let's say, for instance, I read the officer. Depending on why he stopped me, he has to articulate why he stopped me. If I think he didn't give me a proper basis on why he stopped me, and he's just fumbling, telling me anything, then I'm going to ask for a supervisor. If he can't provide a supervisor, usually, which they don't, they always try to either, incite violence, give me your ID, or I'm going to have to take you out the car, or this or that. That's breaking the law, because you also have to you also have to respect my rights. You understand?
Yeah.
I don't want to identify myself. Get your supervisor involved or get somebody of higher authority, but don't go in and break and act like you're, you know what I mean?
So tell me, why do you want to have your privileged, precious right and not obey the law? How is that being a good citizen?
My thing is not all cops are the same. You understand? So we're gonna end up sometimes running into police that have a power.
Sure.
How you say like where their power they're blinded by power, you can say.
Sure, I understand.
And sometimes, like I said, they don't respect your rights, and you have to enact them at that moment.
Okay.
Due to the fact that they stopped you illegally. It wasn't a just stop, for instance. Right?
You don't know. Probable cause. Anybody can stop you for probable cause. I can look at you. If you look Mexican and you might look like you're drunk, I'm going to pull you over. It's simple as that. Yeah, it doesn't. Don't call me racist. That's my people, you said. How can I be racist against my own people?
How can you look at me and tell I'm drunk from, let's say, for instance, from 20 feet away?
Well, like right now, but if I pull you over because I think you're swerving on the road, maybe you were looking for a lighter or something in your car, but you swerved.
You can pull me over.
Okay, and once I pull you over, I need you to identify yourself so that I can see who is driving. If you're driving, you have to. It is the law. You will go to prison. Did you just hear what I said? It is against the law to not provide your license if you're driving and they pulled you over with probable cause.
Find me that law. Find me that law.
I'm in Washington State, bro. I'm not in Texas.
Find me that law.
Well, find me your law that you're saying that you can defy the police. There is no law.
Listen, you have to provide the proof of burden here. I don't have to prove anything. There's not a law.
Okay.
That. You find me that law and I'll shut up. You can't. There's no law that says I have to identify myself unless I've committed an infraction or unless I've committed a crime, unless I've done something that, that cites probable cause for you to stop me, for you to come and come to my aid or whatever the case may be. So if I was drowning or anything like that, and you see me drowning, a cop sees me drowning, he goes, helps me. What is he going to do, act for my ID after?
So, Mrs. Civic's Review brought this video to my attention the other day.
No, sir.
Oh, listen, I'm playing that video.
Here's my license. Here's my.
Okay, listen, this is the law.
I will not hand you my license. I am not required to hand you in your hand my license.
Listen, I'm going to tell you. If you haven't seen it, the
here
gist
is you. Listen, I'm playing the video, okay? If you're not watching the video, okay, well, you have to watch it.
I'm asking you to find me a law where.
Well, here you go. We're going to listen to it. We are going to listen to it.
All right, I'll listen.
Basically this. We have our Florida lady driver who has been pulled over for rolling through a stop sign. Upon request to issue her driver's license, she shows it to the officer but does not hand it over. Her reasoning? I've lost licenses like this before. I can't confirm the validity of this. Have you ever handed your license to a police officer and they just walked off with it, never to return? Write something in the comment section so I can get a head count. I'm betting it's one or less people. Either way, she is adamant about not giving over her license. She also claims that the law is on her side and says, I only have to show
this
it,
is for
not
Washington
hand it
State.
Over. And technically, she's half right. We'll get
because
to the
I am in
statute
Washington
wording and
State.
interpretation of that law later in the video.
No
Additional
buts.
officers are called in to try and reason with her. Sometimes a different
You understand,
officer
federal
can connect
agents
with the person better, but no dice.
override
She's equally
local
rude
law.
to both officers. She doubles down on her claim.
Yes,
She does
federal
not hand
agents
original
override
documents to
local
anyone.
law.
Even if there's a fire.
This
Yes,
is in
it
direct
does.
contradiction to the fact that she has already handed over her original vehicle registration to the cops, but oh well. While the officers try to
we're
explain
trying to
how
fix
case
that
law
problem,
allows
aren't
them
we?
to ask for a driver's license in hand, she cites that she also reads case law. When asked to enlighten the officers
I
on
actually respect officers, police officers. They're here to protect us, and some of them are actually good people. Some of them have a little, have this demeanor where they feel like, they're above the law, but that's not everybody. My problem is with ICE agents. These ICE agents aren't properly trained. They're going into these cities. And
How do you know that?
They're not properly.
How do you know that? Are you there?
No. But
No, then stop speculating. When I see protesters throwing, listen, when I see protesters, especially illegal immigrants, when they're throwing, when they're assaulting ICE agents, they are more patient. Listen, nobody's getting kidnapped. Stop with the rhetoric. Listen, I myself is a Hispanic. I can tell you, as much as I respect immigration law and I respect this country, I think ICE agents, bro, are too damn soft.
Until they take you.
They will be too soft. They are too soft. They don't handle you unless you don't cooperate.
What are you trying to get here?
The least that you can do is show respect. When you tell them to F off and do this, you're not being respectful. You're lying to me.
Show respect when you only show respect when you're shown respect. You understand? If they show me respect, then I show them respect. But at the end of the day, with the way they handle people and their tactics and all that, they think
they get handled according to their reaction and the way they act.
So what about that situation? Let's bring this up. Let's say, for instance, that
You're trying to pick one situation out of thousands of situations. You can't do that.
Exactly.
You're excusing the bad behavior.
They violated the law. I'm not the only one saying this, dude.
Here.
Everybody in the media, everybody in the world is saying this about ICE.
In Texas, hey, let me read an article that my friend just sent me here.
Read you whatever you want. It's action that counts.
In Texas, hey, just listen now, man. I don't want to listen to your rhetoric. That's not conversation.
Come on.
I'm going to read your thing from Texas that my friend just sent me. So maybe you're right about something. Let's take a look. In Texas, you are not required to carry ID at all times or identify yourself to police just because they ask. According to Texas Penal Code, Section 38.02, you must show ID only if you are lawfully arrested, driving a motor vehicle, must show license, or are a handgun license holder stopped by police.
Well, I've lived in Texas
Well, you didn't know that part, apparently.
I lived in Texas for a while.
Yeah, okay, sure. Okay, yeah, maybe you're getting away with it so far. But there it is.
I'm not doing anything wrong.
But there it is. It's the Texas Penal Code, Section 3802. Go read that. All right. Thanks for calling. That's enough time. Take it easy, man. All right, guys, if you want to have an argument, that's fine. But let's be honest. As Cutting Edge just said, we get almost 20 million illegals inside the country. I know this because in my country, Dominican Republic, we have the same problem. Plus, ICE are more high than supervisor. They're federal agents since 2003. What does that say? You had to put that back, bro. I don't know what that meant. Are more high than supervisors. ICE is higher than the supervisors. I think is what you're saying. But I think the ICE supervisor would be higher than any other ICE agent. Hey, thank you for the article. I appreciate you looking that in there. Also says traffic stops drivers must present driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance upon request. Now, I'm in Washington State. That's exactly what I said, right? And I don't understand why that wouldn't make sense, especially when Texas, it shows that they have the same law, that they have the same requirements. It's the same requirements in Florida. So I'm going to say that the reason why I have like a little backfire when he tells me that he respects, law enforcement, it's when you respect federal agents or law enforcement in general, you don't curse at them. You don't call them Nazis and bigots and racists like these two illegal immigrants in here are saying. The guy has a heavy accent. I can tell that. Okay? Now, if he's an American citizen, it's okay to have an accent. I have an accent, right? But there's probable cause. There's probable cause right there. All you got to do is say, hey, listen, I don't have my passport with me or my birth certificate, obviously. I don't have my ID. Here's my full name. Here is my birth certificate. My birth date, right? You can provide those things without anything. And if they have a system to check, they will check. Listen, there was an American citizen. It was a white lady. I don't know if you guys remember this video, right? But there was a white lady that was an American citizen, got pulled over by ICE. And the reason why she got pulled over is because the car was registered to her boyfriend, who has an order of deportation. So, of course, when they pull her over, they're asking her for her information. They are looking for this guy. They're doing an investigation. Nope, she doesn't want to comply. She doesn't want to give her license. Mind you, even if she was innocent, which she was, but even if she was innocent and she knew this, she got pulled over because the car was registered to an illegal immigrant with an order of deportation. Once they pull her over, because they do have the reason why they're going after her, And how do they know this car is registered to an illegal immigrant? If they haven't been given due process in court, if they haven't been given due process to register with their papers and everything, the reason why they know is because they already had their due process. And that's how that works. So she should have showed the license and be like, hey, well, here's his, blah, blah, blah. And if they ask her, you know, do you know where he is? You can plead the fifth. That's okay. But at least you have already identified yourself. You know you have a license. You know there's an insurance. You know there's a registration on the car, right? Because if you don't have the insurance, maybe you shouldn't drive. And if you do get caught driving without insurance, then you should be responsible enough to say, doggone it, I know I don't have insurance. If I get pulled over without insurance and I get a ticket, I'm not going to get mad at them. It's my fault. If I get pulled over for speeding, why would I get mad? It's not their fault. It's my fault. They're enforcing the law. And so I'm saying these things because there's Americans that are naive and they want to defend illegal immigrants. I get it. I mean, if I didn't hear the comments that I'm a sellout and a coconut, all the time, okay? There's a lot of Mexican Americans that I know that were friends. A lot of Latinos that trust and believe in President Trump being and doing what he's supposed to be doing. I have nothing to say to defend illegal immigrants. I really don't. You know, if they find a way to get papers, all right. Well, you know, you're the one that got away. You got away. And I like that, truth teller. Comply or cry. I like that. That's actually pretty nice. I like that. So, and my point is, you know, you're making these people's lives miserable. Why don't we just go ahead and watch this video anyways while we're here? And let's see if we get another caller during the video. I will answer the phone. Okay? All right, here we go.
Look at this guy. Look at this guy. Date por un lado. Look at it. Me la quieren reventar la ventana, ve. No! Look at this.
Thank you, Smiles.
Ay, Dios mío! White boy.
If you recall, just moments ago, the Juanito was complaining about racism, but now he is using racism against the agent because he is white. Hypocrisy is common in this habitat.
Very common. And this is what I said. People don't have to be racist. I don't understand why they want to be racist. Hey, thanks for getting that membership. Thanks for getting the membership.
Enséñasela. 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 I'm a U.S. citizen.
Isn't that a shame to yell out, I'm an American citizen, bitch, and you over there cursing the law enforcement that American citizens get protected by? Make that make sense. Make that make sense. You are literally being racist, disrespectful, making the person that is there to protect you, American citizens, job harder. Make that make sense. I'm telling you, I just don't put up with that bull. I don't put up with that bull. You know, I wish they would go and try this with the Mexican police. Try that with the federal agents from the Mexican police when it comes to immigration. Go cuss at them and go yell at them and put them in their place and tell them they're garbage and all these other things that you're telling the police officers here who respect the law, and that is the reason why you get away with saying such things. I want to see how they treat you. All right, somebody got a call. Let's see what we got. Hey, thanks for calling. Who are we talking to?
Hey, Antonio, man.
Antonio, what's going on, buddy? What you got?
Yeah. So I'm here looking at your what's this called, live?
Yeah.
And you're talking about like you know, the people being very all uptight and cursing and stuff.
Yeah, well, somebody brought immigration up, so now we got to talk about it. But we were talking about something else. It's okay.
Oh, shit. So I'm sorry.
You're good. No, but somebody brought it up, so I started playing a video because I understand. I understand that you can say whatever you want. It's your freedom of speech. All I'm asking is for a little respect, right? Like the song says. I just sounded like it. Just a little respect. And I've seen a lot of people that, they're Mexican, right? They're Mexican descent, like me, for example, right? If I get pulled over and they ask me if I'm an American citizen, of course I'm going to say yes. But I will tell you this, in all honesty, if I was illegal and they caught me, honestly, people don't believe me, but honestly, it was my bad. There's nothing yet, sir. Yes, you got me.
Going back to the language here.
Yeah, go ahead.
At the end of the day, it's the agent's professionalism.
Sure.
You're getting paid to be professional. You gotta hold on to that, because there's always that view that the law are evil. So
yeah,
you can't
true.
defeat that. You just gotta hold that in.
Yeah.
And try not to overreact, because the moment that you overreact, it's over.
Yeah.
You're gonna lose automatically. So I just say, just try to ignore the offensive words. It's gonna come regardless. I think it's something that you just can't defeat that part. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah. So the frustrating part to me is not just the cursing, right? That's just that just instigates. I get it. It's uncomfortable. The problem that I have is that when people act that way, it is a sign of violence. I know you might not see it that way. It is a sign of violence and rebellion. And when you act that way, it's just the word. It's violent. I don't know how other words to put. But if you are saying, you know what, F you, and I don't give a, and here's my license, but you know what, F you, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're cooperating. You can say whatever you want. You can be racist to them. You can say whatever, but here's my license and my registration. How do you feel now, fool? Blah, blah. You can go ahead and do all of that stuff, but just cooperate. We have to hold ourselves as citizens. We have to be holding ourselves accountable for our actions. I don't know if you were here on this live right now, but there was a young kid that called in, right? And I want to have conversations. Tell me why you love your state, blah, blah, blah. And the kid says, that all MAGAs are, I think somebody was coaching him because he was pausing. He was saying all MAGA are racist, Nazis, and you can suck a fat one. And then he hangs up. I think it's funny, but at the end of the day, he sounds like he's 11, 12 years old at the most. And that's the kind of thing that I'm talking about. Like, how does that help our society? We got to be able to fix that. You and I, okay, you and I can curse and we can have this conversation and it's all good. But that's the way we get. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But when it comes to your house and your pops is there, your grandma's there, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to go over there and you're my homeboy. I'm going to go ahead and talk to you the way I talk to you in front of your parents. I just can't. I have to say, Mr. Johnson, right? Mrs. Johnson, how are you? Hey, man, let's, between me and you is cool, but we got to know when to have respect for others. And, in my show, of course, this is my show. I can say what I want. What I find interesting is this. I call people libtards, retards, and all these other stuff, right? But there is no name to it. And somehow, some people like to reply to that. And I'm just like, why are you replying? You're just telling everybody that you're that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you see me, right? You hear my voice. You know who I am. I don't know anybody behind the keyboard. And if you jump at somebody saying retard, I think I just proved my point. You know what I mean? But I hear you. I think 100% what you're saying is correct. It is. It really is. I'm just trying to have us have our own accountability because we're also responsible, right? Remember, our freedom of speech is to be used responsibly. And I don't think that you're going to like me chanting you that you are, this and this and that, and that you're this and that. And I'm just irritating you when you're just trying to have a cheeseburger in peace. It doesn't give me the right to disrupt the peace.
That's harassment, but even then, everybody has the free will to say something. For instance, I don't know what line of work you do besides, what you're doing with the lives and stuff. But, it's like telling a CO, hey, don't overreact because the inmate is cursing at you, disrespecting you. It just comes with the job, It's just you signed up for it. Just be prepared for it.
This is true.
I get it. It's stressful. You're a human being.
Yeah.
There might be times you blow up, but you gotta go back and be cool, because
Yeah.
that's just part of the job, brother. That's
I
just
like
part of the
I
job.
like you have common sense, and I like that, and I agree. So, what would you do in this case if you were the ICE agent? You know, you have a paper, right? You're looking for a guy that looks like me. I'm not the guy, but it looks like me, and I do all of that stuff. How would you go about enforcing your job? What would you do if nothing else works with talks? You can see that they're talking over him, right? How would you do your job with people like this? I know you're going to be patient, and they are. You can tell they're patient.
Right.
They're more patient than I am. Believe that. I can't do that job. I will be busting windows a lot faster than anybody else. I'm just kidding. I wouldn't. But I would still be disappointed. That Americans act this way. But you're right, 100%. I think I will have to really train myself mentally, maybe meditation. You know what I'm saying? Maybe something to calm my nerves. I don't know. Adrenaline. Once adrenaline's going, bro. I don't know if you ever have you ever boxed?
I actually used to box.
Okay,
many
so
years ago. Yeah.
okay, when you have the adrenaline going, you're not 100% in control of your body. You have to be mentally set, right? Because I know I boxed and I've done martial arts, and I know there's a lot of concentration that teaches your patience and this and that. But it gets to a point where once you're excited about something, especially when you're competing, right? Adrenaline takes over. You do things that you normally wouldn't be able to do. And, in these jobs, when you have adrenaline going, you don't know if somebody's going to shoot you. When you're behaving this way, even though you're not going to shoot somebody, but when you're behaving this way, just think about this. As much as the last guy that called in is right about there's power trip on law enforcement everywhere. I get that. I've seen that. At the same time, imagine that police officer, that state patrol, that FBI agent, that one police officer that came and tried to talk to you because you were speeding and they got shot in the face. How will any other officer that has been trained to be patient and has been trained to take all this garbage of verbal abuse, how are they going to really react on the next stop?
That very moment,
it's tough.
It would be definitely a tough, scary moment. Two
Yeah.
of my best friends are cops.
Yeah.
They constantly tell me the stresses they have in their jobs. They tell me, the bad cops that are in the department who they don't agree with, who they don't feel safe around. And they also tell me the things where they feel like they're about to, break their moral code because of, losing their patience. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, they always have to come back.
Yep.
And also be vigilant. You don't know the outcome of the person. Like you said, they just might come and shoot your face, right? So it's just being a cop, you got to do three things at once.
Yeah.
De-escalate the thing, keep your cool, be professional, and also be careful around your surroundings.
Yep. True. Yeah. It's a hit and miss. I think that, some agents are not good, and I think some Americans are not good. Some citizens are not good. I think the fault is on both sides, and the best advice that I can give both the citizens and the ICE agents is, one, of course, you have to be respectful. You got to be able to take all this language. But at the same time, the best way to avoid violence, honestly, the best way to avoid violence is to cooperate, to teach our citizens to cooperate.
I think ICE agents, because they've been mass hired, they need more training. My personal opinion. Like, for instance, during the Obama administration, he has the highest deportation rate. I don't think we were seeing this outcome. Now, granted, yes, because Trump is trying to make this movement of mass deportation and people are against Trump. So people are going to be more riled up about that, especially on the Democrat side. But even then, I think there's a lot. You can see the lack of training on some of these ICE agents. And even like my cop, like I told you, I have cop friends. They told me, like,
Yeah, sure. I see that. I see it myself. Yeah, I agree.
So,
yeah.
Yeah, man. Well,
how about this? How about this? I'll give you a question. I'll ask you one question. I'll let you go. What do you think is the difference between when Obama was deporting millions of illegals and now that Trump is doing it? Can you tell me what the difference is between these two times? What do you think?
A couple things. I don't know if it's true. This is just my opinion. I believe Obama was really targeting trying to find the actual criminals and even those who are not.
Pretty
Well,
close.
when I say criminals, like MS-13,
Yep, pretty close. Yep.
rapists, yep.
You're in the right place.
And also the respect of due process.
Yep.
I'm a Republican, but I'm not really, at least for this term, I'm
Yeah.
not really with Trump at the moment.
Yeah.
I think the message is, it has a little bit of racial tone to it, and people feel offended about that. Even though I think, yes, like, illegal immigration is bad. We got to take everybody out, and you have to try, you have to do it the right way. But at the same time, we can't, these are human beings as well, so I think we got to show a little bit of mercy, a little bit of respect.
Yeah.
And there is going to be some pushback. Because nobody wants to leave this country. This country's awesome.
Well, here's what the difference is between the two. Okay, now remember, over 2.5 million have self-deported, which is a great thing because they got money, they got a chance to leave, and they have access to be able to come back. I think that's a good thing that Obama didn't do. And the difference between Obama and Trump doing the deportation is not due process. They go look for these people because they already had their due process. Now, this whole targeting because of the way you look, I don't know, I'm pretty iffy with that, right? But if they pull you over because you're chasing them or following them or something, right? I will go ahead and kind of question that as well. But the difference is that the biggest problem with this sort of things is happening in democratic states and cities because they have a sanctuary thing. And when Obama was deporting millions of illegal immigrants, they were opening the jails for them. They were like, hey, we got this illegal immigrant here. He just committed murder. He just raped. He just got caught on a DUI. They will report them to Obama. And I remember that there was, this is true story. I used to work for this company called Alpine Windows here in Bothell, Washington. And I remember that the law is still there. It's just, it hasn't been enforced for decades probably. But, I remember that there was a fine, and I think it was $10,000 per illegal that you hire as an employer. So what they would do is they will verify all social securities, and they announce a meeting for illegal immigrants. And what was waiting for them inside this meeting, guess who? ICE. And so they were, taking them because the employers were turning them in. Was it losing jobs? Sure. But they were abiding by the law. And I think that's the biggest difference that happened with Obama and with every president. Bill Clinton, I like Bill Clinton besides some of the nasty things, right? But I like Bill Clinton, and I used to support Democrats a lot. I still support the policies of Democrats from 2 decades ago, except now the difference is the name is put behind Trump, but the policies are the same. If you say you voted for Trump, so think about this: that the left. And it's not just the leftist people. I hate to say this, right and left, but that's the only way that people can identify each other. They have abandoned us. Democratic Party left us a long time ago. They are not for American. Nancy Pelosi gave away their communist Marxist tactic of smearing, right? Smearing is telling a lie about your opponent, political opponent, and then leaking information to the press, and then the press will put a news article out there, and when they do a press conference, they will say, if the people start not believing what you're saying, point them to the press and say, look, there's a story here from somebody leaked the information, being themselves. Somebody leaked the information about this, and they have been able to manipulate a lot of Americans. So I want to say this, you voted for Trump, it's a good thing. Don't give up. Do the research. You have common sense, I can tell. You have common sense. No, it's not a joke. You have common sense, and I commend you for that. Try to put yourself on both sides of the shoes. This is what I do when I do critical thinking. I'm the bad guy, and I'm the good guy. What would I react like as the bad guy? And what would I react like as a good guy? How can I find common ground with what I want to do in my life decisions? And this is why I can see that there is bad agents, there's good agents. There is bad citizens, there's good citizens. There's good and bad on everything in our life. But we just have to choose carefully. And At the end of the day, you have to remember over 21 million illegal immigrants, and that's just what we think. They're saying it's more. Right now, what happened with Iran, this is something that we have been waiting. We have been expecting this. What happened with Venezuela, we're expecting that. What happened with Cuba, we're expecting that. Whatever happens with Mexico, we're expecting that the open borders are going to bite us in the ass because we don't know who's here. And that's why it's very imperative. Remember, we wouldn't have to do this race if two things happen. One of them, no sanctuary cities, and they will give us the criminals from jails. Now, every legal has to go, obviously, but it will be done in a more what people want to hear, a more humane way, right? There will be more order. Look what happened with, and I'll leave you with this. I don't want to keep you all night. Look what happened in that court. I can't remember if it was Minnesota or what state, but remember that judge that protected an illegal immigrant in court and allowed him to sneak out the back of the courtroom? Did you hear that story? I'm sure it was everywhere on the news. Okay, so the agents were there. They would have grabbed them, arrest them right there in the court. Instead, she decided to let him sneak out the back of the courtroom, right, through the actual what do you call that room, the chambers, the judge's chambers. Yes, yeah. Snuck him through there, got him out, and the guy starts running. And then the ICE agents are chasing. Now they're no longer there, being peaceful, being respectful or whatnot. Now they're chasing this guy, and now other civilians are put in danger because they don't know if this guy is going to be, crazy, grabbing anybody and putting somebody else in danger, maybe traffic, whatever, because the guy's running through the street. Everything can be avoided if we can cooperate with each other. I think Barack Obama had a lot of support with cooperation from both Democrats and Republicans, and that made deportation a lot easier. If we had that cooperation, I think that we wouldn't see what we're seeing today because if you look at the most violent things or videos that you see today, like Los Angeles, you have Chicanos or anchor babies, as they call, raising Mexican flags, saying America is Mexico. Listen, there's a lot of history. There's a lot of fighting. The only reason why Texas became part of the United States before the other rest of the territory is because they asked Americans for help because Mexico was oppressing them and they were not letting them thrive. And so they reached out to America. Long story short, right? Mexico was horrible. Mexico was in debt up the yin-yang that even the French try to come and take Mexico away from Mexicans because they couldn't pay for their land, their debt. So they were going to lose their land. And, we had an agreement with the Mexican military. They helped us in the war. So we came back and we tried to do some diplomacy. And the French eventually left them. But again, you see what I'm saying? There is so much history behind everything. And look how far I have to go to be able to give you an example of why people act the way that they act. The riots in L.A.
Iran today, that goes all the way back from the wars, So
yeah, before then, it goes to the
ripple effect.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
Yeah. No, and you know what? And I love my Mexicans that have become citizens here. I felt really bad. I know I got a lot of stories. If you want, you can go ahead and hang up, but I'll go ahead and continue telling the story if you want to hang around. I felt bad when I was flying. I don't know if I was flying to Honduras, but I was flying and at the airport here in Seattle. No, not in Seattle. Where was it? Denver, I think it was. I had to wait for a connection. Okay, and there was this Mexican couple. So I thought. I was so embarrassed. I feel so bad. But, bro, they're 100% Mexican. There is no, I think, no, they look Mexican 100%. And they were speaking Spanish to the grandma, right? And so I don't know. I made a dumb joke, and I was like, so what do people tell you when they think that, that you're Mexican? And he got offended. He says, I am not Mexican. I'm a fourth generation American in the United States. And I was just, it was just a joke. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I am so sorry. No, I meant no disrespect. He was so proud of being American, even though he looked like Mexican, 100%, the big, thick mustache, the skin, everything. And he's talking with an accent to me. And I have to just believe him. It's like, how do I tell him, hey, you have an accent? Fourth generation. Why do you still have an accent? You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the end of the day, yeah. But I mean, I don't mean to be like racist to him. He had an accent, and that's what ICE agents do. I see all this stuff, man, and I agree with you 100% on everything, and I've seen this bad on both sides. I don't think pretty good should have been done. That could have been avoided. But when you have governors, mayors telling people to put their bodies on the line, they're violating federal law. And every governor and senator knows that they have to abide by federal law. It is in the Constitution of every state in the United States of America. And I just think a lot of Americans don't know that. But, it is what it is. Hey, man, thank you so much for calling, man. I appreciate the conversation.
I appreciate you taking the call.
God bless you, bud. Take care. Bye. It's so crazy when you see people that have common sense. Did you see the difference? The caller before him, I understand where he's coming from, and I can agree with him, but he's not using common sense, just like this gentleman right here was using common sense. It's easy for me to talk with him, and it's not because he's not agreeing with me. I don't think he agreed with me. Maybe 50%, maybe 30% he agreed with me, I think. But it's a nice conversation. And that's what I expect from people. I expect for us to be able to talk with each other, be able to have a conversation. I want to try to do this more often. I do like to share more videos. Why don't we go ahead and finish the Crime Chef? I know that some of you guys is very late for you. I know Eastern time. That is my audience. So let's see. Let me see if I get. Let's say if I get at least 10 ones on the chat, we will go ahead and finish watching the Crime Chef video. And if not, then we can go ahead and call it for the night. Let me know if you want to watch it. All I need is 10 people to sit here and watch it with me, and we'll be okay with that. Patience is not my virtue, says David. All right, you know what, Robert? You count for 10 people. Let's watch it, brother.
Shut the f*** up. Shut the f*** up. I'm a U.S. citizen, bitch. Shut the f*** up. Síguenos.
That was one of the more tame wildlife encounters we will be examining today. The apex predator of this habitat, ice, is in full force today, and the wild Karen species is feeling overconfident. A recipe for disaster for the Karen, but great entertainment for us. Grab your popcorn and enjoy the show. I do this every day, so you might as well subscribe now. To the untrained eye, this might look like a wild scene, but this is actually quite a peaceful day for Democrat City standards. Thanks, Mamdani and co.
Oh my God.
The police are calmly walking out to deal with the situation, because like I said, this happens every day in these types of cities.
Wrong place in 65. Literally at the front of the courthouse.
I'm going to courthouse. They balling at this bitch. That's the boy? Nah, them women, them girls.
Mighty Mod here for IG News. Early morning chase, god damn. Yo, it's a van. The was coming up clearing nav, hauling ass. Next thing you know, car came out, smacked this in a minivan. Hold up, let me go see what happened more.
This takes place in Newark, New Jersey, and as someone who used to live in this state, it does not surprise me in the slightest. If you thought Minnesota was bad, Newark is a third world country at best.
That nigga smacked the shit out of that car. Yo, he was hauling ass. I seen that shit. I said, yo, he moving. Oh, they got him. Oh. Ah, damn.
The guy that was, quote, hauling ass was in fact fleeing from ICE, probably because he is illegal or a criminal Karen.
Woo. Oh my God. Oh. Woo. Damn. That's ice? There's ice? Hey, yo, come on, say, why the you got this chasing up this hill? You know y'all can't chase nobody.
Suspect flees driving dangerously fast through icy roads, yet the leftists still blame ice. It's honestly just pathetic.
Y'all know better than that, bro. Y'all know y'all can't. Yes, I did, bro. I saw y'all call up this block with this nigga. Y'all talking about y'all ain't chase him. I watched y'all do that. Come out the store. Y'all know better than that. Y'all know y'all can't chase nobody in Newark, bro. Come on, bro. Y'all better than that. Y'all know y'all can't chase nobody in Jersey, especially in Newark, bro. Y'all know that, bro, because shit like this can happen. Come on, bro. You got these little kids almost died this almost these little kids, and y'all know better than that. God. Come on. That's crazy. And it's ice. Y'all know better than that.
Who else y'all taking now? Touch me.
The American. I'll beat you the f*** up out here. What you think you talking about? Yo, you throw that mace, I'm gonna make you. Play with me. You bring that mace, I'm gonna make you. It is a reason. They shouldn't be out here. It is a reason. You should be talking to them.
They not even supposed to be
here.
They not even supposed to be here.
You should be
Control
talking to
your
them.
area. Control area. Bro, we good. Control them niggas. We're great. We pay our taxes.
It's federal enforcement, buddy. We all pay for it and we all voted for it.
They don't pay. We pay.
Y'all got the right ones, bro. Word up. They call this shit.
Look at these kids, bro. But look how long these kids been waiting.
These niggas wouldn't be out here. If everybody had a gun, y'all wouldn't be out here. Y'all some cowards. Y'all some cowards.
Who touched you? Right here.
This right here. This section. This section. That just need to get mad. Why you not mad? Why you not mad? I'm the chairman of the Black Panther Party. I serve the people. You supposed to work for the people. These motherfuckers. No, but you talking to me. You should be talking to them. Turn around and look at them before they grab her.
Does he realize that serving the people would mean doing what the people voted for? He is actually going against democracy by impeding them.
Turn around and look at them before they grab her, bro. Well, the corporate back up. Because they're not going to be touching nobody out here today, bro. That shit is not good for them. Yo, I'm watching the sister, bro. You need to protect the sister. Not worry about me. Not worry about me. Yo, we got on video too. We got on video too.
I make sure my lawyer had this. You touch me.
We got on video too.
Asshole want to come
You want to fight? You want to fight? I'll beat you. Look tough if you want. Look tough. Look tough if you want.
Y'all chasing immigrants and you motherfuckers are immigrants.
I ain't chasing motherfuckers in the goddamn. No, nah, she good. She a Black Panther.
I'm going to act crazy. I'm telling you right now. Back up.
She good. Word up. You should be arresting these motherfuckers. These motherfuckers should be in cuffs. They shouldn't be standing around. Whoever was driving that G-Ride should be in cuffs. And pull the f***ing mask down. Look at this Tom ass. Ain't nobody threatening them. They the one that's running people over.
They not even supposed to be here.
How you feel about yourself?
Right, but get them out of here. They got what they want. Get them the out of here. Like, they got what they want. Get them the out of here. For real.
Yo, record what he say. The line. Line. Word up.
I got Big Brian in there.
She look like she got some Spanish people up there. Out here. Shit. You should ashamed yourself. For the love of money. For the love of money. You go out here trying to kill your own people. You're disgusting. Word up. I'll be broke for the rest of my life if I do this shit. Working for Trump, that's what you're doing.
Trump derangement syndrome knows no bounds.
You a savage. The secret police. That's what the your parents raised? This what they raised y'all to be? God savages. For f***ing money, bro. For f***ing money. For money, you motherfuckers take these jobs. Y'all some scumbags.
I didn't touch y'all, you don't touch me. I know my rights.
Nah, let that buy that shit. I'll beat the shit in my head. I don't need no fucking gun. I don't need no mace. I'll beat the shit. He could stand. He want to fight, we can get it shaking out here. He can stand. They take that uniform off, nigga. Take all that shit and stand over here with us. Them stand over here with us. Them stand over here with us, bro.
Yo, we gonna all line up.
So everybody in the hood should be over here, bro. Everybody in the hood should be over here.
Take all that shit off.
Everybody in the hood should be over here.
All y'all
whenever they pull up, we should be outside.
How about that? All y'all against us. We'll take all y'all. Take that shit and promise not to press no charges.
It's insane, the lengths these people will go to defend illegal aliens that are stealing their jobs and tax money.
Now you Gucci, you Gucci.
Take all that shit and promise not to press no charges. I promise I'll beat y'all.
After that, what's that?
But they don't give a They don't even have a ice requirement. How the you get a job over there? Huh? You everybody get a f***ing job over here, man. They let anybody get a job over here.
Hey, yo, ain't you Mexican?
He f***ing something, Guatemala or something.
He's something.
And you out here trying to kill your own
Go
people.
ahead, try to kill your own. Check him out.
Y'all savages, bro.
No, take the mask off.
They gonna come grab your dumb.
Take the mask off.
They gonna come for you next.
Yeah.
Yeah, you ain't gonna take that mask off.
Check it out, y'all.
The f***ing cowards. Y'all don't want your kids to see you. Y'all don't want your family to see y'all. Real talk. You want to be gangster? Come on this side with us. Come fight with the people over here. The people on this side. The people not over there. They don't give a f***. These motherfuckers is terrorists. This little midget right here. Deplane. These terrorist motherfuckers out here. These the motherfucking terrorists. They damn near kill somebody out here. Goddamn ICE. Goddamn ICE. Yeah, keep that Hey, yo, they got the app to remove that in your face. Keep the phone on. We got the app. We're going to remove that in your face. Everybody going to know who the f you are. And then he got that dumbass side. That little blue lives matter shit. Yeah, goddamn KKK.
Y'all take the bird to that, run into them kids.
Wait, who car is that? But I still want to know, who does that Sonata belong to? They said they wasn't chasing nobody.
They were chasing the van.
Yeah, you was chasing.
He was watching it from her window.
They were.
They were chasing the van. That's why he was running.
Throw it up.
They were chasing the van. That's how the accident happened.
That motherfucker ain't no officer. That's a goddamn terrorist. These motherfuckers terrorists.
That's why he slid it.
This is the face of real terrorists right here. You could have a female terrorist. She could be Spanish. You could have this little midget. He could be a terrorist. All these motherfuckers terrorists. All of them terrorists. Yeah, all these motherfuckers terrorists. Motherfucker, you're the one that took these fucking jobs. Why don't they become fire, motherfucker? They want to go out and hunting people down and shit. They go work for the ambulance. Work for the fire department. Punk ass, man. This is like Minnesota. They're going to put their hands on somebody. Niggas about to get broke off out this bitch. They all about to get beat the f up.
No.
Hey, yo. I got.
Trigger happy. That's a nice cop come up with. You know, trigger happy people away.
They were chasing them. Yo, take her interview. Take her interview real quick. Yo, we with the Black Panther Party. Take her interview.
I was at the light and they almost knocked me across the street. I backed up and I seen them run straight into this white car right here, but they hit them first and ran straight into that. Yes.
This car first.
They're lying. No, they were chasing. Yes, they were chasing them. They're lying. They're absolutely lying. They chased them.
Where you at, Rise? Huh? Don't throw the snow in the street, Rise. But you got this guy killed.
Stop spending the money. Stop spending the money, Ross. We be able to do something. Get us some programs. Stop spending the money, Ross.
Got feeling in there.
money. We ain't voting for you to be governor, pussy. This ain't you ain't worth it. Here right now. You gotta call me medical attention. Just to let y'all know that. That guy who did that call me medical attention.
You need to lock these motherfuckers up, right? You like ICE up. You work for the people, right? Go lock ICE up, or you only shoot. You only shoot black people out here, huh? No police.
Police officer doesn't believe that he can arrest ICE agents because they can't. Federal agents have jurisdiction all over the United States of America. All right, we'll go ahead and continue watching more videos, and we'll try to stay up to date with the news as they come in. Guys, thank you for being with me tonight. Thank you for the callers. Appreciate you. I think everybody was respectful today. It was a little argument earlier, but I appreciate every single one of you who are willing to have a conversation. I am not going to agree to things that are unlawful or illegal. People want to talk about immigration all the time. I ask, tell me what makes your state so great or not so great. And we ended up talking about immigration. So with that being said, hey guys, thank you so much for liking, for subscribing to my channel. I need you to spread the truth. We are not Republican, Democrat. We are American first. American citizens are priority over illegal immigrants every single day. So if you're still with me, thank you so much. God bless you. God bless your family, and God bless the USA. We'll see you in the next one.